1958.
I'm Scott Klein. If you're tired of painting or your siding is beyond repair, it may be time to look at the advantages of a new siding system. Additional insulation, along with Tyvek's weatherization system, can significantly improve your home's energy efficiency while protecting it from water and air infiltration. We offer a variety of siding products, all installed by J&B's certified employees, which will provide decades of performance and beauty.
For a complimentary siding evaluation, call Scott at 262-437-0537 or visit jnbconstruction.com.
Your home can be more maintenance-free when you rely on J&B.
The Vollrath Company implemented a DocuWare content management solution from James Imaging Systems. Vollrath Director of Information Systems, John Sharp.
They've helped us upgrade from a previous version of our document management to automate our accounts payable processes, to store the invoices, do the three-way match, and really streamline those processes.
In addition to a DocuWare content management solution, the key to continued success is the James Imaging Systems Solutions Group.
And as an extension of our team, they've got intimate knowledge of why we've done some of the things that we do. And when we run into any issues, they're there to support us.
A DocuWare content management solution from the James Imaging Systems Solutions Group.
They know exactly where we are in our project cycle so that we've always got continuous improvement.
Content management and workflow automation from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Tonight, the Brewers are in Anaheim to take on the Los Angeles Angels.
Swinging a drive to center and deep. Get up, get out of here and gone.
Our coverage of the game begins tonight at 8:03 on your home for the Milwaukee Brewers. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 3 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, waiting on the former president in the heat.
I'm Julia Fellow. Updates on a series of fires here in Milwaukee.
I'm Jessica Gatso in for Debbie Lazaga today. Looks like we've got slowdowns starting in several spots this afternoon, starting with 94 westbound heading out of downtown. Those slowdowns continuing just up to the stadium interchange. Also looking at 43 southbound. Those slowdowns start just past Silver Spring Drive and continue just past Capitol. 894 westbound, also a bit slow heading out of the Mitchell interchange. We do have one crash to look out for blocking a ramp. That's on Greenfield Avenue to 41 894 north. I'm Jessica Gatso with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic.
Tonight, breezy and humid, a low of 73 degrees. Tomorrow, warm, still humid. Scattered showers, a high of 88 tomorrow. It's currently 85 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, as crowds await the arrival of former President Donald Trump in Racine, the heat is already starting to take its toll. Racine Fire Lieutenant Brian Tersinski tells Wisconsin's Midday News they've already responded to a call for a person who fainted, likely due to the high heat and humidity.
We would say avoid like the hottest times of the day, but obviously the rally is going to start, I believe, at 3, so they're going to be standing out there now. Just take frequent breaks if you're doing like any strenuous activity would be our prevention.
Tersinski advises rallygoers to drink plenty of water and avoid alcoholic or caffeinated beverages.
Biden for Wisconsin organizers speaking before Trump's Racine campaign event happening this hour. Critique the former president's economic policies. They're also critiquing the 2018 Foxconn project in Racine County that only delivered on a fraction of its proposed footprint. Racine Democratic Party Chair.
Take the Foxconn project as an example of Trump's failed economic policy. It has had a profound impact on our community. People lost their homes and the promised jobs were nowhere to be found.
Part of the original Foxconn area is proposed to become part of a new $3.1 billion Microsoft artificial intelligence data center.
The Milwaukee Fire Department is investigating a series of fires that occurred during a very short time frame this morning. It's believed the fires originated in garbage carts and piles of trash in two concentrated areas, 49th and Lisbon and near 9th and Center. It appears they may have been intentionally set. There were 16 different fires total. Milwaukee Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky.
We did have one firefighter suffer a laceration at the fire at 2902 North 9th. That did not require hospitalization, and we would classify that as a relatively minor injury.
The chief says the fires are far more than just property crimes and put people's lives in danger because of the proximity to homes. There's a $5,000 reward for credible tips.
Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman has applied for chief of police in Austin, Texas. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports Norman is among 32 finalists so far for that job, for the top job of Austin Police Chief. Norman was named Milwaukee Police Chief in November of 2021 after former Chief Alfonso Morales was demoted from the position following the 2020 protests in the city.
The funeral for Marquette President Mike Lovell will be this Thursday at the Church of the Jesu. Lovell passed away from cancer earlier this month. He's being praised for his leadership style, including the Running with the President group, which helped him connect with students. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel's Lori Nickel.
When they were doing that, there's no running hierarchy anymore. It wasn't, student versus president, and it broke down all of that. It broke down the kind of social hierarchy, and instead you're all just runners. And that means an 18-year-old female freshman has a voice equally.
Lovell died from a rare form of cancer. He was 57 years old.
Coming up, a social media platform in hot water.
Citing unlimited WTMJ News Time, 3:05.
Small business owners, we know finishing your to-do list can feel like climbing a mountain, but that mountain is also covered in banana peels. Then when something new gets added to your list, you're like, nope, I'm already climbing this huge, super slippery banana peel mountain of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy to manage your policy on our mobile app. So climbing that banana peel mountain feels more like a leisurely stroll. See if you can save on commercial auto insurance in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
From big tailgate parties to cozy dinners for two, the freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 6.3 to 12-ounce selected varieties Frigo string cheese, $4.49. 4 to 12 count or 16-ounce selected varieties Halo Top ice cream, $3.99. 60 to 64-ounce selected varieties Ocean Spray juice, $3.49. 8-count Mega Roll Angel Soft bath tissue, $5.99.
Why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take them out at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods?
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 24th.
Citing unlimited WTMJ News Time, 3:07.
The Federal Trade Commission taking action against TikTok. CBS Allison Keyes.
The FTC says it has referred a complaint to the Department of Justice over the popular social media platform TikTok over possible violation of the Children's Online Privacy Act. This as a U.S. appeals court is set to hold oral arguments in September over a law that would ban TikTok in the U.S. unless its Chinese parent company does not divest ownership.
China's government has said it will not allow for sale of TikTok.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers continue their 7-game West Coast road trip tonight. Features matchups the trip does against the Angels and the Padres. The Crew lost the first game against the Angels 5-3. Tonight's coverage starts at 8 o'clock here on WTMJ. And the Green Bay Packers announcing the annual shareholders meeting this year will follow the team's first open training camp practice. The practice is July 22nd at 10:30 a.m. Shareholders will meet at 3 p.m. that day in the stadium. 8 of the first 10 Packers practices will be open to fans.
Citing unlimited WTMJ News Time, 3:08.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at WIPGA.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
During Steinhaffel's 4th of July mattress sales, save $500 on the Tempur-Pedic Breeze, plus get $300 in Steinhaffel's cash. Tempur-Pedic Queens start at $88 per month with Steinhaffel's 60-month financing. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
It is a pretty Milwaukee afternoon, about 85 today, almost 10 degrees cooler than yesterday, but still steamy out.
I'm still wearing a jacket indoors.
Oh, it's so weird. I came and found you. You were in a little production studio working on stuff, and I opened the door. I felt like I was walking into a meat cooler.
I know, it's freezing.
I could
My hands
feel
are freezing.
the cold air coming out of the vents, and it's a little chilly. I can feel it in my fingers. That's okay. It's steamy and hot outside. It's nice and cool inside. We've got a great show coming up for you. One thing we want to highlight, the national chairman of the Republican National Committee, Michael Whatley, a guy chosen personally by Donald Trump, will join us live coming up at 4:15. So at 4:15, Michael Whatley will be with us as Donald Trump set to begin his deal going on in Racine this afternoon. All right, several things that we're tracking before we get there.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
Number 1, John, the opening and closing ceremony outfits have been unveiled. If you text WATCH right now, WATCH to the talk and text line, 855-616-1620, you can see them right now. At the opening ceremony parade, July 26, athletes will sport navy wool blazer with red and white tipping. I say trimming. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Adorned with Ralph Lauren's classic pony logo on one side, Team USA on the other. The closing ceremonies look like a NASCAR outfit. Have you seen that one?
They do. They totally look like an auto racing inspired deal.
Again, if you text WATCH to our talk and text line, 855-616-1620, you can get a glimpse of what they'll wear. They're also wearing jeans. What do you think about that?
It's okay. I think it's American. I think it's very casual. I guess the blazer kind of offsets how casual the jeans look. Text the word WATCH, and you can see the pictures right now. They're up there, and the pictures are cool because they had athletes. Some of our athletes are actually wearing the clothing. So we'll leave that up there for the next couple of minutes during the segment. Text the word WATCH to 855-616-1620. You can see the cool red, white, and blue outfits. The second thing in the 3 at 3 today is Justin Timberlake's been arrested for an alleged DWI on Long Island. Police officers say they stopped him after he ran through a stop sign and then twice crossed over the center line. The cop who stopped him says he appeared to be drunk, had bloodshot, glassy eyes, a strong smell of alcohol on his breath. He then allegedly told the police officer, "I had one martini, and I was trying to follow my friends home." The officer says he had slowed speech, he performed poorly on field sobriety tests, he couldn't focus on speaking to the police officer, and that he refused several times to take a blood alcohol test. So they took him down, took him in handcuffs, took him down to the station. He spent the night there, so he was arraigned the next morning. There he also refused to take the blood test. The arrest comes as Timberlake is in the middle of his first world tour in 6 years. He's supposed to be in Chicago this upcoming weekend for a couple of shows.
Yeah, he's coming to Milwaukee, too.
Yeah, so
Oof.
Justin Timberlake in a little bit of hot water, it appears.
Number 3, the perfect day for ice cream. Nice and hot. The UW-Madison researchers say they figured out how to make ice cream not melt. They found naturally occurring compounds found largely in fruits and vegetables. Found introducing that mixture helps prevent ice crystals from melting fast.
Yeah.
They're called polyphenols that are in your fruits and vegetables. So the slower it melted, and it kept its shape. So with a scoop of vanilla ice cream, they did a little test, and they found after 2 hours and 70-degree temperatures, so room temperature, they introduced the polyphenols, and it helped keep its shape. Didn't fall through the wire mesh at all. And now you know.
There you go.
They'll be coming soon.
The secret to ice cream. It is 3:13 at WTMJ. Water safety tips and what's going on with immigration. A big development today. That's straight ahead on WTMJ.
Be
our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
I-94 eastbound. A semi just came to a screeching stop in the center lane. I think he's broken down right there.
Call me, Debbie Loziga, at the Hall Volkswagen traffic tip line at 414-238-9329.
On southbound I-94, right around Drexel Avenue, there's a wreck in the left lane, and the left lane is blocked.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it? Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
Each day, there's a sliver of time when you can almost breathe freely, and you feel better when you can. But you know that eventually that sliver of time closes, along with your nose. It puts a damper on your day every day. So you pop a pill or you take a spray to try to get that relief back. But it's always short-lived. And all the while, in your efforts to give yourself relief, you may be making your nasal breathing problems worse. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and a simple in-office procedure from Advent called balloon sinuplasty could be the fast and convenient answer to your breathing triangle problems. Advent has been a leader in this procedure, which can be hard to find elsewhere. It's simple, there's little to no downtime, and it really can be life-changing.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
At Fleet Farm, we know every sunny day doesn't begin and end with us. But if it did, we've got you covered. Everyday fishing gear from Rapala, Berkeley, and Minn Kota. Everyday grilling goods from Weber, Kingsford, and Blackstone. Everyday camping gear from Coleman, Yeti, and Eureka. Whatever makes your day, we're right there with you. At Fleet Farm, we've got everything you need for everyday life.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Social Security benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Unable to work due to health problems? Let Tayback help you get approved for the Social Security benefits you're entitled to. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Traffic and weather. Jessica's in for Debbie this afternoon. How's that ride rolling, Jess?
Hey there, John. The ride is not looking too bad, only looking at a minute or two of slowdowns in most places, starting with 94 westbound, heading out of downtown into the Stadium Interchange. Also 43 southbound, that starts around Silver Spring Drive and continues past Capitol. And looking slow by maybe just a minute on 894 between the Mitchell and the Hale. If you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. Find out with Hall Mazda all summer. I'm Jessica Gatzo with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight will be clear, warm, and breezy, a low of 73. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, very warm and humid, a high of 88 degrees. A chance of evening showers. Thursday, a chance of showers and storms, partly cloudy and warm, a high of 77. Friday, partly cloudy, high of 80. Saturday, 90 degrees. Hot and humid, chance of evening storms. Wanted to give you some 5 days of water safety. So yesterday was number 1. If you're not a strong swimmer, don't go into the lake. It's too unpredictable. And then we wanted to talk about the top 5 things. Number 2 is if you are swimming with littles, just learning to swim. Andrea Wallace of Milwaukee County Parks, Assistant Director of Recreation, has this to say.
You're going to want to ensure that your kids are always within arm's reach. Just really important that you're able to grab them very quickly so that they don't slip away as they're, walking through the pool or walking next to the pool. So really just being able to react very quickly because it can happen so quickly.
Also, make sure that your swimsuits are bright so then everybody can see each other. Toddlers are growing, she says. And if you add water to the mix, it can make it very unpredictable. That is one big piece of advice. I saw that happen to my cousin one time in the backyard of my uncle's house. Almost drowned.
That's
it was really,
scary.
really close.
Yeah,
they had to call the fire department. But
oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. Was kind of unconscious for a little bit. I was young when that happened.
Yeah.
So you always have to have your child within arm's reach. And that's something like, okay, yeah, we all know that. But one look away.
Yep.
And then
doesn't take
they're
much.
underwater.
Yep. It is 3:18 at WTMJ. We'll continue that series as we head through the rest of the week. Donald Trump has not yet begun to speak in Racine. The crowd is building. It is hot there. It is a bright blue sky. I'm bad at estimating crowds, and I don't have enough camera angles to guess a number, but there are a lot of people there, a lot of red hats. Donald Trump expected to be there. We'll keep you updated on what is happening down there. And the chairman of the Republican National Committee, the main guy, Michael Whatley, will join us live coming up at 4:15 on WTMJ.
For your next exterior remodeling project, we know you're not asking a lot from us. You want the right products for your situation, you want a few different financing options that can make your project affordable, and you want us to do a good job with minimal disruption to your life. And this one's important. You want a warranty that matters. And we know that checking every box makes all the difference. You might be surprised at how many moving parts go into it, but we have just the right people in all the right places to pull that off every day and make it look easy. The company we have took us 21 years to build. It's an awesome place to work because we never stop improving it. And we think we can do this work so well that we can actually change the reputation of exterior remodelers long term. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Ask about our finance options.
The surgeons that I know are good people. They just want to do what they can to help you feel better. And the surgeries they perform can do wonders for their patients. But medicine's a business, and surgery is the big ticket item. And there are surgeries that are absolutely necessary. In almost all cases, a total knee replacement isn't one of them. It's a last resort. So before you opt for a total knee replacement, if you haven't been to Rejuvenex, you may find that we have treatments that can give you the relief you're looking for. They're FDA approved, and they can alleviate pain, in many cases significantly. And insurance could cover a big portion of, if not all of our treatment costs. The osteoarthritic pain you're feeling will only worsen, and that's why you should take action now. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, where we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
We're staying on top of the President Trump situation down in Racine. He is speaking to a large crowd down there coming up here, so we'll stay on top of that for you. The current president of the United States, Joe Biden, today announcing relief for some undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens and dreamers. Perry Russum is with us, ABC News in Washington. Perry, I guess there's really two primary things here. Why don't you explain them each to us?
Yeah, so let's start with the first one being dreamers. Those are undocumented people brought to this country as children. What this executive action is basically going to do is speed up the process on getting employment-based non-immigrant visas. So to be eligible, they have to have a degree from an accredited higher ed school here in the U.S. and have a high-skilled job offer from a U.S. employer in their field of study. And then number two, the second executive action, is a streamlined process for undocumented spouses and children of U.S. citizens to apply for permanent residency and then citizenship down the road. So these are two different things with residency and then citizenship. So for the spouses, this is going to help with living and working in the country, and these applications can be filled out within the U.S., which is key, so people do not have to go back to their original country to fill out the paperwork where they're not guaranteed to be allowed back into the U.S. So to be eligible as a spouse, you have to be in the U.S. for at least 10 years and legally married to a U.S. citizen as of yesterday. So there's no running to City Hall to get this done now, and they also have to pass a criminal background check.
How many people do you think would be affected by this that could become
So the
U.S. citizens?
Yeah, well, just to be clear, it starts with the residency and then citizenship. So this, the White House is saying this could affect up to 500,000 people just for spouses alone, and then 50,000 for children. But the applications are not even open yet. President Biden says this is going to go into effect later this summer. That's when applications should be open.
Can he do this unilaterally?
Yeah, right now they can as an executive action. I mean, the one thing that he's pointing to as why he's doing it now is he's saying the inaction of Congress. The White House has been talking about for months how there was, talks of a deal being done with the southern border with, immigrants and migrants in Congress. But President Trump told the Republicans to walk away. They walked away, and now he has something to talk about on the campaign trail.
How much of this, Perry, do experts and those that monitor what happened in Washington believe is political, and how much of it is practical?
Oh man, I mean, everything's political in D.C., especially when you're 5 months out from an election. But we did see from some of the different Hispanic caucuses in Congress that they are happy with what's happening. It's also important to note as well that 2 weeks ago, with the executive action that he took at the border, it did not go over well with a lot of Democrats, a few Democrats, I should say. So this kind of appeased some of the Democrats who are not too happy about the executive action at the border from 2 weeks ago. So this is really kind of playing a little bit more to the Democratic base.
So if you apply for lawful permanent residence and you're granted it, can you then vote in November?
No, that was not talked about at all. Remember, you have to be a citizen to get that done. But what this does essentially, it opens up a 3-year window where you get a green card and then you can go through the citizenship process. But we still don't really know a timeline. D.C., the White House is saying it's going to happen later this summer, but not everything in D.C. happens on schedule and on time. So it's not really clear when this officially will get going. I mean, President Biden gave that ambiguous date of later this summer.
What, Perry, are those that are primarily opposed to this saying about today's news?
I mean, Trump's campaign is bashing this as usual. A spokeswoman for his campaign is slamming this idea, saying Biden does not care about American families, painting immigrants as violent criminals, as he's been doing, time and time again. But what's interesting, too, is we got a statement here from the ACLU. 2 weeks ago, they were slamming Biden's executive action at the border, saying it's unlawful, threatening to sue. But this time around, their focus is they're praising it, saying that it's keeping families together. And something that President Biden pointed out today, the eligibility for a spouse is at least 10 years. He said the average number for spouses that they've been in the U.S. is about 22 years. These are people who have been in this country for quite some time.
So is a lawsuit expected then?
We have not seen anything just yet. When everything happened 2 weeks ago with the executive action at the southern border, the ACLU jumped out right in front. Almost hours within that was announced, but we have not seen anything in terms of a lawsuit filed just yet that has hit our inboxes.
Perry Russell, ABC News, Washington. Thank you, Perry.
Thank you. Have a good one.
I'm going through all the socials and looking at our different feeds that come in here, and I don't believe that former President Trump has begun to speak yet in Racine. If he has, I don't see that anywhere. But there is a large crowd down there in Racine, and we are on top of it. As a matter of fact, we'll go live to Racine coming up at about 4:35. A little more than an hour from now, we will be live in Racine.
The live feed shows that no one's on stage at this point.
Yeah, so
which is kind of surprising.
About a half hour behind. And people are standing in some really hot, humid weather down there.
Yes.
At 3:27, let's check out the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ notch record highs once again. Tech firms continue to lead an AI-driven rally that investors are just really tapping into. So the NASDAQ was up 5 points. 17,862 it sits right now. The S&P was up 13 points. It's at 5487. And the Dow was up 57 points on the day. It's currently at 38,834. Inflation, it's not going away. Download your copy of Safeguarding Against Inflation, Strategies for Wealth Preservation. You can find that at annexwealth.com/inflation. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Market volatility, global issues. We hear about inflation easing, but it's still a real issue. more than a few headwinds this year. That's probably why Americans like you feel uncertain about their financial future. Just 59% of affluent Americans felt secure last year, and that's down from the year before. Boomers, not much room for error. Gen X might need more than a 401k. And for millennial families with big dreams, it's time to get real about saving and investing. Talk to Annex Wealth Management. Build security with a partner on your side for unbiased advice. Our goal is a plan that prepares you to maintain your desired lifestyle throughout retirement. Investments are a start, but you may need more. That's why Annex delivers tax and estate planning. There's an Annex plan personalized for you. Annex Comprehensive Wealth fits most individuals and families, but if you've got high net worth with complex needs, Annex Private Client is your solution. Just starting out? Annex Ignite is a great choice. Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management. Click the Get Started button at annexwealth.com.
Calling all queen bees. Are you a woman landowner, farmer, farm worker, urban grower, prairie protector, agricultural consultant, or conservation professional? If so, Wisconsin Farmers Union invites you to participate in their collaborative effort called Wisconsin Women in Conservation. The goal of this project is to get women owners and growers the knowledge, resources, networks, and support to make their land stewardship dreams come true. Join in via webinars, farm tour field days, learning circle events, and potlucks in your region. If you've been wanting to learn about cover crops, pollinator habitat, season extending high tunnels, managed grazing, soil health, or raised beds in your community garden, this is a group for you. Find out more and subscribe to the Buzz newsletter and the Queen Bees Session podcast at wiwic.org. Follow Wisconsin Women in Conservation on Instagram and Facebook. Come join our girl gang at Wisconsin Women in Conservation.
Traffic is sponsored by 2 Men and a Junk Truck. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
From removing unwanted clutter or junk to full-service residential or commercial cleanouts, get a free same-day estimate at 2menajuncktruck.com. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
It's 3:30. I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story, waiting in the heat for the former president.
I'm John Mercure. A series of fires leaves a family displaced.
I'm Jessica Gatso in for Debbie Lazica today. Roads are travel times are slowing down a bit more in a few spots this afternoon. Looks like 43 southbound is getting even slower between Silver Spring and about Capitol Drive. Also starting to see slowdowns going northbound. And 94 still mostly seeing those slowdowns westbound, but also seeing some eastbound traffic getting a little heavier. And then 894 still looking at about a couple minutes of a delay around the Mitchell interchange heading west. I'm Jessica Gatso with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic.
Tonight, partly cloudy, breezy, humid, a low of 73 degrees. Tomorrow, warm and humid, a high of 88 degrees. It's currently 87. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, former President Donald Trump has just started a rally in Racine, and it's hot out there. Crowds waiting in the heat, and some say it's taking its toll. Racine Fire Lieutenant Brian Przinski tells Wisconsin's Midday News they've already responded to a call for a person who fainted, likely due to the high heat and humidity.
We would say avoid like the hottest times of the day, but obviously the rally is going to start, I believe, at 3, so they're going to be standing out there now. Just take frequent breaks if you're doing like any strenuous activity would be our prevention.
Przinski advises rallygoers to drink plenty of water and avoid alcoholic or caffeinated beverages.
As Southeast Wisconsin continues to battle its first true heat wave of the year, one usual option for beating the heat is not advised today. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson says choppy waters on Lake Michigan from a strong southern breeze will make for unsafe swimming.
Swimming again today, much like yesterday, not really advised, especially Sheboygan, Nozawa counties. That's where we've got that high swim risk for today. So if you are trying to stave off the heat, I know the lake is a good option, but again, that is something that we are continuing to monitor, those choppy conditions on the lake.
Your complete 5-day forecast is coming up in about 15 minutes.
The Milwaukee Fire Department is investigating a series of fires that occurred during a very short time frame this morning. Most of the fires started in garbage carts or piles of trash pulled into alleys or next to buildings. Most of those fires were concentrated in areas of 49th and Lisbon and 9th and Center. It appears they may have been intentionally set. Milwaukee Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky.
So between these 11 responses with 16 separate fires, we have 4 buildings involved, 2 occupied buildings, 2 vacant. This represents a tremendous risk to the public.
A Milwaukee firefighter suffered minor injuries, and a mother of her 3 children now doesn't have a home. There's a $5,000 reward for credible tips.
A new 50-unit housing development for people with autism and other developmental disabilities will soon break ground in Franklin. Mother Deb Falk-Palak tells WTMJ 4 News her daughter has autism, and she worries about how she will receive support as an adult.
This is a huge problem, not only in our county, but our state. Nationally, is finding support services to care for adults with disabilities and provide them the help that they need. And so I love the fact that this is just one more option.
The new complex also offers parents space where they can live as well to be close to their children.
The Wisconsin Supreme Court hears a challenge to Governor Tony Evers' partial veto that locked in a school funding increase for the next 400 years. The Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce Litigation Center filed a lawsuit in April arguing the governor exceeded his authority with that veto. The partial veto increased revenue that public schools can raise per student annually until 24-25. The justices have not set a timeline beyond a briefing schedule.
The Two Rivers Police Department clears up rumors regarding missing 3-year-old Elijah Vu. The police chief says speculation that the 3-year-old has been found is untrue. Search efforts continue in both the Two Rivers area as well as the Wisconsin Dells and in Portage. He has been missing since February 20th. His mother, Katrina Bauer, and her boyfriend, Jesse Vang, face felony child neglect charges, but still have not been charged with Vu's disappearance.
Bye-bye birdie. The first We Energy's peregrine falcon chicks born this year have left the nest. Birdie Blair took flight from the Oak Creek Power Plant. Her brothers Fitz and Glider took their first flight soon after. All of the falcon chicks born this spring were given names in honor of Wisconsin Olympic medalists.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers lost the first game against the Angels, 5-3. They play again tonight with coverage on WTMJ starting at 8 o'clock. The Green Bay Packers announced the annual shareholders meeting this year will follow the team's first opening training camp practice. It'll be July 22nd at 10:30 a.m. Shareholders will meet at 3 p.m. at the stadium. Coming up, the one thing that drivers should be on the lookout for as it gets warmer. That's coming up at 3:36.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 3:35.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Gear up for the flight experience of a lifetime at EAA AirVenture Oshkosh, happening July 22nd through the 28th. John Mercure here. Embark on thrilling adventures with daily flights and see AirVenture at a new height when you take a ride on EAA's B-25, Ford Tri-Motor, or the Bell 47 helicopter. But the excitement doesn't end there. Explore vintage aircraft, test your skills in flight simulators, and witness mesmerizing aerobatic displays. Visit EAA.org/tickets to secure your tickets now for EAA AirVenture Oshkosh.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Take me out to the ball game.
It's a Ticket Tuesday. Every Tuesday, we give away tickets to the next Brewers home game that's on a Tuesday. That means we're giving away tickets right now for the June 25th game against the Rangers. Here's what we're going to do. We have a trivia question for you regarding the Brewers. So you go ahead and call 855-616-1620. If you're the first to get the answer to this question right, then you win the tickets. The voice of the Brewers, Bob Uecker, starred in which television sitcom from 1985 to 1990? 855-616-1620. If you know the answer to that question, which sitcom was Bob Uecker in the late 80s, you win a pair of tickets. So good luck. 855-616-1620. All right, let's see what we got here. Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Mark. I'm calling from East Troy, Wisconsin.
Mark from East Troy. I can hear the smile in your voice. You know this, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so what sitcom did Mr. Baseball star in?
Mr. Belvedere.
Oh, we're going to give you one more chance. Are you sure it wasn't Family Ties or Growing Pains or any of those other shows? You're going to stick with Mr. Belvedere?
I will stick with my first guess, John.
Congratulations! You won. Did you like that show?
Me? Yeah, I loved it.
I did. Anything Uke does is cool with me.
Man, me too. He's a class act and a cool guy, and it's great to have him on the radio for another summer. All right, here's the deal. You need to stay on the line. Do not hang up. Producer Isaac's going to pick up the line, Mark, and get you all the information for your tickets, okay?
Well, thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. And go Brewers, of course.
Go Brewers.
Have
go
fun.
Crew, go.
Have
all
a
right,
blast.
you stay right there. Isaac will go ahead and pick that call
I
up.
wonder how many tickets he gets. Does he get 4 tickets?
2 or 4?
That's really
nice.
nice.
We should know this, shouldn't we?
I believe it's 4. Could be 2.
I don't know. Okay, we'll sort that out. It's hot outside, and it's not just affecting the people.
So as soon as temperatures reach 85 degrees or higher, pavements can buckle. So if you're driving right now, just know that this just happened on 41 southbound in Brown County just yesterday evening. For a couple hours yesterday night, it was closed. They're back open, but it was pretty scary for drivers. The temperature changes can cause slabs of pavement to push against each other, and the pressure is so significant it can create bumps or dips. It can cause the pavement to buckle underneath you. Department of Transportation's Barry Pay says it's not good for traffic or your car.
What you would call like a little explosion of concrete to shoot up, and that's really what a buckle is. You will see material on the road. You'll see concrete laying out there that shouldn't be, so chunks of concrete, spalls of concrete. Looks like little rocks or debris on the...
So it's like a little explosion, he says. There's also buckling pavement at Highway 51. I don't think I've said it correctly. At County Highway D. Somewhere in Fond du Lac County, it happened as well yesterday. Highway 45 in the Oshkosh area last night. Those areas had to be repaired and have reopened. The DOT says, here's the thing you need to do. Slow down, buckle up, focus your attention on the roadway, please. Watch for slowing traffic. That can happen like that. And look for roadside workers who are trying to repair things like this. The damaged pavement, it can pop up anywhere. Before your trip, you can also go to 511.gov and take a look at the incidents or delays. If necessary, you can report the pavement. They say you should call 911, John, because it's so serious.
Yeah.
Take a listen to this, too.
They'll come out there and clean up the debris and patch in the pavement so you have a safe driving surface. So move over, slow down, give people room to work. It's the same safety message we have for our construction zones as well, as we want people to slow down and be safe.
Please be safe.
Be safe. That could be a serious situation. I mean, you don't want to run into... Yeah, that can be a very serious situation. So be safe and be careful. I'm scrolling through my email. I'm trying to find out how many tickets the winner gets.
Is that what you're doing? I was wondering.
Yeah. So I typed in my email in the search box, Ticket Tuesdays, and all this cool stuff comes up, like what we're supposed to say, and what it doesn't say how many tickets people get. Huh. Isaac, do you know how many tickets the winner gets?
I am finding that out for you.
Okay. So
we'll get to the bottom of that.
Yeah. We need to find out how many tickets Mark wins. And Mark, when you're driving to the game, be careful in case the pavement buckles.
Yes, please.
It can be serious out there. Yeah, it is hot too. President Trump is right now speaking in Racine. He's talking about immigration, talking about amnesty, saying that we should not be talking about amnesty, saying Joe Biden has been a failure at the border, saying that Joe Biden now is trying to jump in and make a difference because the election is coming up. He is wearing, the former president, a dark blue suit, a white dress shirt, a red tie, kind of the standard uniform. It's a cufflink shirt. And he has a red Make America Great cap on again. And behind him at the podium, sitting right in the sun, are a lot of people wearing red MAGA hats, holding signs that say Trump 2024, others that are holding signs that say Fire Joe Biden. Donald Trump in Racine. We will check in live in Racine coming up here shortly on the show. And at 4:15 in a half hour from now, Michael Whatley, Donald Trump's pick to head the RNC, will join us live. It is 3:42 at WTMJ.
The Brewers Radio Network salutes all those who are serving or have served to protect our freedom.
Vince Vitrano here. I want to salute my father-in-law, Master Sergeant Lee LaHargue, 24 years in the United States Air Force, including service in Vietnam and at U.S. Air Force Base Ramstein, Germany.
To all those who have served, we thank you. This Brewers Radio Network salute to all servicemen and women is sponsored by Discount Liquor.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Elmbrook Family Dental. Wanted to tell you the news. They not only have 2 beautiful locations in Brookfield, a 3rd dental office is opening soon in Wauwatosa. Go to elmbrookfamilydental.com. I just went to see Dr. Brunner. He's going to be heading the Wauwatosa locations. It's going to be great. He has laser technology. He's helping easing my TMJ and my headaches. Wonderful staff like Mindy has made this whole process so comfortable. Go to elmbrookfamilydental.com to book an appointment. They'll get you in so quick. That's elmbrookfamilydental.com.
Thinking of popping the question? Diamonds Direct has an offer you can't miss. This month only, buy a natural diamond engagement ring of 1 carat plus and receive a free natural 1 carat diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. Imagine giving her the ring of her dreams and her wedding gift all at once. No one provides education, selection, and value like Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet from your friends at Diamonds Direct won't last long. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
A retirement plan without execution is just words and numbers on paper. Hi, I'm Jeff Kowal, founder of Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialist. Our execution, knowledge, and commitment is the difference between just words and numbers on paper. Don't go it alone. We are here to help. If you have $750,000 or more in investable assets, now is the time to meet our fiduciary advisors. Give our office a call at 262-522-4040 or visit thekowalway.com.
Kowal Investment Group is a registered investment advisor.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
We're sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment, flanners.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanners Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanners, just press play.
Traffic and weather. Let's get a look at the roads with Jessica Getzo. Hey, Jessica.
Hey there, Julia. Still taking a look at slowdowns in a couple of the same few areas. 43 southbound, that's pretty slow between Silver Spring and Capitol Drive, and a tad slow going northbound as well. 94, mostly looking at slowdowns westbound between downtown and the Stadium Interchange. And then taking a look at the Mitchell Interchange. 894 west is going to be a bit slow until about 51st Street. I'm Jessica Gatso with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight will be mainly clear, warm and breezy, a low of 73. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, very warm and humid, a chance of evening showers and storms, a high of 88. Thursday, a chance of showers and storms, partly cloudy and warm, a high of 77. Friday, partly cloudy, warm, very humid, high of 80. Saturday, whoa, gets to 90 degrees, partly cloudy, hot and humid.
He's on the road today. Major Garrett is CBS's chief Washington correspondent. The Takeout Podcast is must-listen to radio here on the weekends on WTMJ. Major, you were in Wisconsin today. What were you doing here?
I'm still in Wisconsin. I'm in Kenosha right now.
Oh!
Yes. I was in Sheboygan County earlier. Had to make my way to Kenosha, which was complicated a bit on the interstate because they were shut down to make room for former President Trump's motorcade. So got to navigate some interesting state highways and county roads to make my way to Kenosha, but I'm here gathering some interviews and some video for some upcoming Eye on America pieces. So always happy to be in Wisconsin. Beautiful this time of year. I will be back, of course, for the Republican National Convention. But I'm wrapping up some interviews right after I talk to you, then heading to O'Hare and flying back to D.C. tonight.
Not many people end up in Sheboygan. Is the demographic there interesting for your story? Why Sheboygan?
You'll find out when you see the piece.
Is it because it's the Malibu of the Midwest, which is what they really say? I'm not kidding.
It has its charms, no question about it.
We wanted to ask you, because I love to pick your brain about different things that people aren't really talking about. And one of them is the Putin visit to North Korea. Of course, Donald Trump made his own visit to North Korea. Now Putin is there. What is the significance of this and the video and pictures that are now emerging for the world to see?
So North Korea is a failed state that has nuclear weapons or aspirations for nuclear weapons that can menace its neighboring countries. And it is a place that starves its people as a matter of policy, punishes any dissent harshly with hard prison labor or worse. It is one of the most repellent states on planet Earth, and there's a fair amount of competition for that. But it has an arms industry in addition to an emerging nuclear industry. And it has been selling arms to Russia so it can continue its illegal war in Ukraine, illegal by terms of international law and sovereignty. And Putin needs allies, and it's harder and harder for him to find reputable or near reputable or pseudo-reputable allies, so he has to go for the most disreputable allies he can find, because they're the only ones who share common cause with him. And that should tell us something about the stakes involved, not just for Ukraine, but for anything that Putin may try to accomplish if, in fact, he is able to subjugate Ukraine. There is a very formidable effort in the West to deny him that, but it's still a jump ball because the war goes on. And Putin siding with North Korea and Kim Jong-un and all those associated with that regime tell the world, not just the United States, but tell the world how low he has sunk on the world stage, where he has to go to find allies to maintain his war machine against the Ukrainians.
But as much as he has sunk on the world stage and his status has been diminished, does it still give Kim Jong-un credibility that the leader of the Soviet Union comes to your place and stays the night? It's a 2-day visit. What does that do for Kim Jong-un?
Well, it certainly underscores that he matters in certain phases of global life. If there wasn't an illegal war in Ukraine, this wouldn't matter to Putin, okay? So Kim Jong-un only matters in concert with someone violating international law, sovereignty, and, by the way, slaughtering civilians, kidnapping children, and destroying infrastructure of a free and democratic country. So Kim Jong-un's relevance has only been increased by this ongoing act of barbarism in Ukraine. And so, yes, Kim Jong-un will take whatever notoriety he can get. It's not like President Trump's visits, both of which I covered. And those were about trying to resolve differences between the two countries, trying to deter North Korea's pursuit of nuclear weapons, ballistic missile technology, and all the menacing of South Korea, Japan, and other neighboring countries. That never went anywhere. Most people, before those famous visits of former President Trump, didn't think they would go anywhere, but Trump wanted to give it a try, see if his particular approach and deference to Kim Jong-un could unlock a key or unlock something that had never been unlocked before by previous presidents. He was no more successful than his predecessors had been, meaning they've all failed in this pursuit, because Kim Jong-un is not someone who shares any of the values of the West. And now, increasingly, neither does Vladimir Putin. That's why they're hanging out together.
Major Garrett is with us on WTMJ. So when you went to North Korea, were you allowed to talk to people in the neighborhoods? Were you allowed to see the shops?
No. You're not. I've never been in North Korea, but I've been to the DMZ, and I've been heavily through South Korea. No, you need very, very specific special permission to go into North Korea. I have talked at great length to one of our producers based in Seoul, South Korea. and one of our academic researchers whose specialty is North and South Korea about their experiences in North Korea. But the closest I've been is to the demilitarized zone, and that's a gnarly, scary place, I'm telling you.
What's it like? We've seen the pictures, but we've never been there. What's it like? What's the feel?
So on one level, it's very ordinary, but at another level, it's very intimidating, and here's why. So it is a demarcated line where the official area is that the North and South recognize as a middle zone in which the North and South Korean representatives can meet in rooms monitored by the United Nations. The North enters from their side, the South enters from their side, and these little buildings, and that's where President Trump met Kim Jong-un, and they posed for pictures between those blue buildings. Those are spaces where the last rock demarcating North and South is monitored fiercely by the North Koreans. You step one rock over, they will come at you, meaning they will interrogate you. They will consider it an act of hostility. And when we were on the South Korean side, of course, we couldn't cross over. We were told to make, as the media, I was part of like several reporters, we were instructed by the U.S. military personnel to make no gestures in the direction of the North Korean soldiers, all of whom were watching us relentlessly, that could be in any way, shape, or form interpreted as hostile. Don't wave your arm, don't look, don't shout, don't do anything that they could say was provocative. That's how tense things are there. The North Koreans watch with something that I think approximates or exceeds a kind of persistent visual belligerence on that line. And they don't want and will not tolerate anything that they regard as offensive or provocative. So we were basically told to walk, keep our eyes down, and make no hand motions at all. It was that strange.
Now, Putin's only there because of the war in Ukraine and the need for arms and that sort of thing. Don't you think, Major, that he's like, do we really have to stay 2 days? Can't we just get the missiles and ammunition and come back? Really? Where's he? They don't have like a day's in. Where's he staying?
Look, this is true of every dictatorship and authoritarian regime. The people at the top are taken care of very nicely. I'm sure there will be accommodations for Putin that will be fine. They'll be more than comfortable. The rest of North Korea starves. There are Potemkin villages, meaning phony places that look nice in North Korea but actually aren't. But I'm sure Putin will be taken care of. All of his creature comforts will be administered to. And my guess, and this is a guess only, but it's informed by historical reading, he's there 2 days because Kim Jong-un said, you need to stay here.
Yeah.
And if you don't, I'm not going to give you all the things, or we're not going to transact all the business you want to transact.
Does he bring his own food?
He might.
He's not trusting somebody over there to make him a grilled cheese, is he? I mean, he has to. He is Major Garrett.
I tend to doubt it.
You can check him out, all of his work on the CBS website, and you hear him here on the weekends on the Takeout Podcast. Always good to catch up, Major. Welcome to Wisconsin. We're looking forward to seeing you when you're here in July.
Yes.
Absolutely. I will be there. Thanks so much.
It is 3:56 at WTMJ.
The California-based Mountain Mike's Pizza comes to Wisconsin with plans to open its first locations in Greenfield and the Fox Valley area in early 2025. The Greenfield location will open at 7800 West Layton Avenue. Lambeau Field in Green Bay makes the cut on a list of potential team-based locations for the FIFA World Cup in 2026. Green Bay's Lodge Kohler was selected as a paired hotel for the event. Johnson Controls International plans to sell its air distribution technologies business, which it acquired in 2014 for $1.6 billion. The amount of the sale to the Los Angeles private equity firm, TrueLink Capital, was not disclosed. I'm Linda Spice with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Business headlines sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today at thepfisterhotel.com.
Milwaukee's finest hotel, the Pfister Hotel, is continuing with renovations to enhance its already stellar reputation. Phase 2 of the renovations is in progress to transform the hotel's historic rooms, with many new rooms available now for reservations. Phase 3 will focus on the hotel's public spaces, set to be completed this summer. The renovations will blend exceptional comfort with cutting-edge technology, reinforcing the hotel's approachable sophistication. The Pfister is ready to welcome you for your next visit. Start planning your stay today at thepfisterhotel.com. Is it time to give your home a new look?
Absolutely.
Get personal care from Adair. Adair Floors and Remodeling has a design team ready to help with all flooring and remodeling needs, including tub to shower conversions. Want to create your dream kitchen, including cabinets? How about the rec room? Adair Floors and Remodeling has been family run in Franklin for over 65 years. For floors and all home remodeling needs, get personal care from Adair. Adair Floors and Remodeling, South 27th Street in Franklin, and online at adairfloors.com.
Gorgeous new roofs, showstopper siding, or classic brick and stonework. How about modern windows and regal doors that'll make your chin hit the floor? To a lot of people, having these things can really make them enjoy where they live. It makes them proud. But there's always one thing standing in the way. How do I make that happen? At Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, we have excellent financing options for most people in most situations. 12 months, no interest, no payments, and exceptional rates for long-term loans that will beat your bank with no additional fees or hidden costs. You can go to semperfiroofing.com to apply for your pre-approval today. We want to make any project affordable to almost any person, and we've gone out of our way to find partners that can help make it happen for you. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Ask about our finance options.
You've probably heard about employee stock ownership plans before, but what separates Fifth Third Bank from others when it comes to these plans? A succession plan that benefits business owners and employees. Full and partial sales, second stage transactions, repurchase obligation financing, and seller note refinancing, ESOPs can offer tax advantages, increased liquidity, employee incentives, and overall diversification of net worth to help your company plan for the future. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
There's a reason people sold to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
Not only did we receive a fair offer, but we were able to take as much time as we needed and could leave the house a mess.
Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
Be our eyes on the roads. Report incidents to the WTMJ HallMazdaMilwaukee.com traffic tip line. 414-238-9329. Find out with Hall Mazda all summer. Tonight, the Brewers are in Anaheim to take on the Los Angeles Angels.
Swinging a drive to center and deep. Get up, get out of here and gone.
Our coverage of the game begins tonight at 8:03. On your home for the Milwaukee Brewers. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 4:01. I'm John Mercure. Your top story addressing rumors that he hated Milwaukee.
I'm Julia Fellow. A string of fires leaves a family homeless.
I'm Jessica Gatso in for Debbie Lazica today. Starting to see more brake lights on the interstate. We've got significant delays on 43, both north and southbound. That's going to start at downtown and head past Silver Spring Drive. And then taking a look at 41 southbound, we're starting to see delays between about the Zoo Interchange and Capitol. And back to 94, we've got westbound delays heading from downtown past the Stadium Interchange. Also looking at a crash popping up right now. That's going to be at 175 North. Looks like the right shoulder. You'll want to look out for a crash there by the Stadium Interchange. And then taking a look at the Mitchell Interchange. Definitely seeing slowdowns heading westbound about past 60th Street. I'm Jessica Gatso with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, breezy and humid, a low of 73. Tomorrow, warm, a high of 88 with scattered showers. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center.
Hello, Wisconsin. Hello. Great state. We've had great success here. It's great to be back in this beautiful state.
Former President Donald Trump speaking at a rally in Racine minutes ago. He immediately addressed the rumors about calling Milwaukee a horrible city.
They say, oh, he doesn't like Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee. I said, you got to fix the crime. We all know that. You got to make sure the election's honest. But I'm the one that picked Milwaukee.
The former president will be back in Milwaukee in July for the Republican National Convention.
One thing to watch out for in this heat today and the rest of this week is heat exhaustion. That's when your body overheats, especially when you spend time in hot temperatures with high humidity. Racine Fire Lieutenant Brian Tersinski tells WTMJ what to do when you start to feel overheated.
Just try to find a cooler location. If you have an umbrella or something, try to stay in the shade. Drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, or some sports drinks that have like electrolytes. Cooling towels or spray bottles will also help.
Some signs to look out for include cool, moist skin with goosebumps when in the heat, fainting, dizziness, and muscle cramps.
The Milwaukee Fire Department investigating a series of fires that occurred during a very short time frame this morning, originating in garbage carts and piles of trash pulled into alleys next to buildings near 49th and Lisbon and 9th and Center. It appears they may have been intentionally set. 16 different fires in total. Milwaukee Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky.
We did have one firefighter suffer a laceration at the fire at 2902 North 9th. That did not require hospitalization, and we would classify that as a relatively minor injury.
A mother and her 3 children lost their homes in one of the fires. There's a $5,000 reward for credible tips.
Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman has applied for Chief of Police position in Austin, Texas. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports he is among the top 32 finalists. He was named Milwaukee Police Chief in November of 2021 after a former chief was demoted from the position.
A Franklin alderman is resigning at the end of June. Ed Hopfer tendered his resignation to Mayor John Nelson earlier this month, saying his personal schedule conflicted with the duties of the office. The city of Franklin will accept letters of interest from residents for the aldermanic seat July 1st. Hopfer's term expires in April of 2025.
Marquette University President Michael Lovell's funeral will be held Thursday at the Church of the Jesu. Lovell passed away from cancer earlier this month. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel's Lori Nichols says
it gave him a chance to really talk to kids, to talk to students and to staff members without the stiffness and stuffiness of a meeting room or, all pretense goes down when you're moving and you're all out there suffering together and enjoying the endorphins and all that.
Lovell had participated in Running with the President group, which all communicated on Facebook. Lovell was 57 years old.
Coming up, it's not bringing sexy back if you're driving drunk.
And former President Donald Trump speaking in Racine in the last hour. We talked to the chair of the RNC. We asked him, what's the latest with protest zones? Did the president really say Milwaukee is a horrible city? That's coming up at 4:16.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 4:05.
Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Visit jamesimaging.com.
The Vollrath Company implemented a DocuWare content management solution from James Imaging Systems. Vollrath Director of Information Systems, John Sharp.
They've helped us upgrade from a previous version of our document management to automate our accounts payable processes, to store the invoices, do the three-way match, and really streamline those processes.
In addition to a DocuWare content management solution, the key to continued success is the James Imaging Systems Solutions Group.
And as an extension of our team, they've got intimate knowledge of why we've done some of the things that we do. And when we run into any issues, they're there to support us.
A DocuWare content management solution from the James Imaging Systems Solutions Group.
They know exactly where we are in our project cycle so that we've always got continuous improvement.
Content management and workflow automation from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Since 1955, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Hey, don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget. They'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geisdoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 4:08.
Trouble for singer Justin Timberlake.
The Crimea River singer's arrest happened overnight Tuesday morning. Police say Timberlake was driving a 2025 BMW when he allegedly blew a stop sign and swerved into oncoming traffic in Sag Harbor Village in the Hamptons, a vacation hotspot on Long Island's East End. Police say the 43-year-old singer failed to stop and failed to maintain his lane of traffic. When officers did pull Timberlake over, they say he was operating the vehicle while intoxicated. He was placed under arrest and held until his arraignment before a judge, then released on his own recognizance. Derek Dennis, ABC News, New York.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers take on the Angels again tonight. Coverage at 8 o'clock here on WTMJ. And the Packers announced their annual shareholders meeting. This year will follow the team's first opening training camp practice. Practice July 22nd at 10:30. Shareholders meeting at 3 o'clock that same day.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 4:09.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at WIPGA.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at ACCUNET.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
All right, happy Tuesday. The president continues to speak in Racine, calling President Biden weak, saying he didn't say Milwaukee was horrible. Michael Watley, the chairman of the RNC, will join us. He's scheduled to join us coming up in 5 minutes.
That's right. Now to Milwaukee Public Schools. After learning MPS is 8 months behind on an audit and may have been overpaid tens of millions of dollars in previous school years because of bad data, and former Superintendent Keith Polsey resigning with a hefty payout, we learn yesterday the board unanimously voted in Southwest Regional Superintendent Eduardo Galvan to serve as their interim superintendent. Galvan has worked with MPS for more than 3 decades. He has been serving for the past 7 years as the regional superintendent for Southwest Region of Milwaukee Public Schools for the past 7 years. Once again, this is him after he was voted in.
Thank you, President Herndon, members of the board, for giving me this opportunity to serve the families and students within MPS. I've done this my entire adult life, and I will do my best to do the best that I can for this wonderful, wonderful community. Thank you.
So for now, he has full powers as a superintendent. This means he has hiring power of key roles that are vacant, including the chief financial officer retiring and comptroller who was fired earlier this month. But this is the process now, John. He will be replaced by an interim superintendent who they hope will happen next month or by September, they say. Then a permanent superintendent they hope will happen in September of next year. So it's going to be likely a year-long search to find a full replacement. There's no list of candidates yet. The board of directors say they're just starting a national search right now, as of today. Governor Evers' office announced they're accepting applications from firms interested in auditing MPS, by the way, with all their finance woes. The governor did not say how the audit would be paid for, other than it would be paid for with federal dollars that have not yet been fully spent. By the way, the Superintendent Keith Polsey position officially ends June 30th, so we still have a few more days.
So that's a weird thing, too. Like, Polsey can't be going into the office, right? I mean, he's officially there till the 30th. Now they have this guy in place. Polsey's not working anymore, not doing anything. This is going to be a very long process. This is going to take, as you just laid out, a very long time to get an interim and then to get an actual new superintendent. I hope the right people are there working hard on the financial side without real leadership in the superintendent's office to get Madison what they need. It feels like there's a vacuum there. It feels like who's running this? What is going on right now?
I know.
Hopefully they get it sorted out. President Trump, I believe, has just wrapped up his speech in Racine. He spoke for, it looks like, maybe 40 minutes, if indeed he is done. 40 minutes he talked in Racine. Michael Whatley is the Republican National Committee chairman. Michael Whatley is scheduled to join us after traffic here on WTMJ.
Throughout history, some people have been born into greatness because of their name or family. Others gained greatness because of their actions. On Wisconsin's Morning News, we celebrate everyday heroes, the John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they woke up one morning they'd be saving a life. Everyday Heroes, Thursday at 6:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. They are the real deal, folks. I've got Guthrie and Fry in my house. They've been taking care of our water, protecting us for a very long time. Got their water softener. I've got the Guthrie and Fry reverse osmosis system. That means the water coming out of my sink, the water we drink, the water we cook with, the water we give the dogs, is crisp, clean, clear, thanks to Guthrie and Fry. Quality products and services at a fair price from a local company you can trust. It's Guthrie and Fry. Reliable products and services, fixed rental rates. They bring the salt down to my water softener. Owners Sue and Rob, they're quite simply the best. And their teams are too. Better water makes a big difference. Guthrie and Fry, I trust them with our water. Southeast Wisconsin's #1 choice, Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning.
Your basement. Ooh, wall cracks. Oh no, seepage. And stains on the bottom of those walls. Terrifying. The only thing scarier than basement issues are businesses that prey on your fear over those terrifying foundational cracks. The team at Gatish Foundation never uses high-pressure sales tactics. Over 90% of Gatish Foundation's jobs are through referrals. So, for an honest opinion on the condition of your basement, call Gatish Foundation today. Spelled G-A-I-Dish. Gatish.com.
$1, just $1 over cost, and you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. Our only requirements is we put them on for you. Available at all 5 Griffin stores. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
During Steinhaffel's 4th of July mattress sales, save $500 on the Tempur-Pedic Breeze, plus get $300 in Steinhaffel's cash. Tempur-Pedic Queens start at $88 per month with Steinhaffel's 60-month financing. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Brave Americans who served shouldn't be denied benefits or have a disability claim incorrectly evaluated by the VA. If you're one of those vets, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Traffic and weather, it's Jessica this afternoon. Good afternoon, Jess.
Hey, John. Still keeping an eye on the same places where we're seeing delays in the usual spots, 43 north and southbound, at least a several-minute delay between downtown and Silver Spring. Looking at 94 westbound, you're going to see delays past the Stadium Interchange, and also want to look out for a crash if you're on 94 eastbound at Highway 175 north. That's blocking the right shoulder. Another crash that they're still cleaning up is on 4143 894 west. That's going to be the left shoulder right at 94 south. And finally, taking a look at back at 41 southbound, we're starting to see delays pick up between about Silver Spring and Capitol Drive. From the I'm Jessica Gatso with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mainly clear skies, warm and breezy, a low 73. Tomorrow, hot and humid, a high of 88. Thursday, chance for storms, 77. Friday, hot and humid, 80. And on Saturday, even hotter, a high of 90 degrees. It is currently 93. Donald Trump is still speaking in Wisconsin at that Racine rally. His speech continues. He's been speaking for about 45 minutes down there in the hot sun, and they are all outside. Michael Whatley's inside. He's the Republican National Committee chairman, and he's with us this afternoon. Mr. Whatley, thank you so much for being with us.
It's great to be on with you.
I want to ask you, a few days before the convention here in Milwaukee, Donald Trump will be sentenced. Is there a contingency plan in case he's behind bars, in case he's not able to physically get to the convention?
We fully expect that he is going to be there and be able to accept that nomination, and we are really very excited about being in Milwaukee and being able to have our 50,000 delegates, alternates, and guests in the House, and making sure that we're rolling the American people a vision that is going to help propel us to victory.
But no one knows what the judge in this case will do. Donald Trump himself said he felt like he woke up some mornings and had no idea what the judge was going to do. Is there a contingency in case the judge decides, hey, you're not going anywhere?
Look, if we have to cross that bridge, we will certainly cross it. But I got to say, we fully expect that the president is going to be on hand and able to accept the nomination.
Okay. We also heard from ABC7 Chicago, they're reporting that the president is making plans to stay in Chicago and will commute to Milwaukee during the RNC. Can you share any more details on that?
No, I think that we are in the process of putting together all of the different plans and movements and things. We're looking at a immense logistical challenge, as you can imagine. Anytime that you're moving that many people in, it's basically like having the Milwaukee Brewers host a 4-game World Series with 4 consecutive nights.
So, Mr. Whatley, is it possible that he could stay at Trump Tower or he could stay somewhere in Chicago and not stay in Milwaukee?
Look, I'm not going to go into his travel plans. I think that right now what I would say is that we are working through all of the logistics to make sure that we're going to have a fantastic event on stage and on the airs.
I want to ask you about protesters. I think the mayor here in Milwaukee said something very interesting when he joined us live in the studio yesterday. We asked him about protesters and how that will play out. He said, look, the protesters want to be on the stage in Fiserv Forum. Those close to the Republican Party want them on the moon. We will figure something out. My question is, are you part of the discussions about where protesters should be allowed and what the parameters should be to keep everybody safe?
Look, I think the security of everybody involved in the convention is going to be an absolutely paramount discussion, and that involves 40 different law enforcement agencies that we have that we're working with in Milwaukee, as well as the Secret Service and our own teams that are going to be there. And I think that we're basically looking at our convention in Milwaukee. We're looking at the convention for the Democrats down in Chicago, where they're putting the protest zone about 3 miles out of the arena, and very, very worried about what's going to happen down there.
I want to ask you a follow-up about something that you just said, talking to the people down there in Chicago. Is there coordination, or maybe that's not the right word? Are there discussions when it comes to security, hotel room policy, protester policy between the organizers of our convention in Milwaukee and the organizers of what will happen down the road in Chicago?
No, I think what we're doing is we're working with local law enforcement. We're working with the Secret Service. We're working with the hotels and the community, and we've got a great relationship with the mayor and the local government folks in Milwaukee to make sure that we're going to have a fantastic show. And we're very excited that all 15,000 of our hotel rooms are going to be in Wisconsin. And, you look at the massive economic impact of 200 million plus that this convention is going to bring into the regional economy. You can understand why the city of Milwaukee has been as welcoming as they have.
Mr. Whatley, have you talked to the president about the comments that he is accused of saying that Milwaukee, where we're having our convention, is a horrible city? And now we're hearing that he may not spend even a single night during the RNC in Milwaukee, that he's going to stay in Chicago. Are you looking at those optics? Do you have anything to say about what he said about our city?
Look, what I would say is we are very, very excited about coming to Milwaukee. We've had a fantastic working relationship with everybody in the city. Wisconsin is obviously going to be an absolutely important state for us to be able to win the presidency. It's one of the top 7 states around the entire country, and we are very excited to be there.
Mr. Whatley, we talked to a congressman who was in the room with the president, and he says the word horrible was used. He said, but it was talking about crime in Milwaukee. It was talking about voting integrity. Would you have rather that the former president not have used the word horrible in any context when talking about Milwaukee?
Look, what I will say is we are very, very excited about coming to Milwaukee. The city is beautiful. The city has been doing a great job to roll out the red carpet. I was up there for a press conference not too long ago where we had taken over the Fiserv Arena, started construction on the stage, and we really think it's going to be a world-class event that we are very excited about hosting up there.
So would you rather he had not used the word horrible?
Look, what I will say is this. We are excited about coming to Milwaukee. I think our entire team is very fired up about it. And, we're going to make sure that we're doing our best to roll out Milwaukee and Wisconsin to the rest of the world because it's going to be a great show.
Mr. Whatley, if the president cannot make it to the RNC in person, what would it look like? Would he just come in virtually?
We will have to see. I mean, we're not going to cross that bridge until we get there because we fully expect that he's going to be able to be there.
Well, let's cross it because we got to think about all these contingencies. What would it look like?
Look, ma'am, we're focused right now on making sure that we're going to have the best show that we possibly can. And part of the thing about building out the stage the way that we're building it out is we're going to be able to showcase, the best of the Republican Party as well as the president to the entire world.
Is there a scenario where the convention could be delayed or canceled?
No, we're locked in. We're excited about it. We're going to be there July 15th through 18th, and we fully expect that this is going to be, one of the best shows that we've ever put on, both in terms of our stage presence and in terms of what people are seeing at their homes on TV all across the country.
Michael Whatley is the Republican National Committee chairman with us as the former president speaks to a very large crowd in Racine. A busy day for you, and we know that. We appreciate you taking some time. Thank you, Mr. Whatley.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
It is 4:24 at WTMJ.
Diamonds Direct has done it again. This month only, get ready for an offer you can't resist. Buy a natural diamond engagement ring of 1 carat plus and receive a free natural 1 carat diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. That's right, a stunning diamond tennis bracelet at no extra cost. Imagine giving her the ring of her dreams and her wedding gift all at once. So hurry into Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet will not last long. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love my dogs. Bella and Baxter are like our kids at home, and a lot like raising children. I found the dogs didn't always listen great. They listen better now thanks to Sit Means Sit dog training. They are awesome. We've had a great experience with even better results. Our dogs are better behaved. As a client, I know the good work Sit Means Sit does because I'm a client. I was a client before I ever read these ads. You, too, can have a happy, confident, obedient dog. Contact Sit Means Sit Dog Training today to schedule a free consultation. That's what we did. Schedule a free consultation. SitMeansSitWaukesha.com.
Vince Vitrano here for Johnson & Sons Paving. You know the front door to your small business? It's not the door. It's the parking lot. And if it's all banged up and potholed, that is not the first impression you want to give to your valued customers. Fix it up or rebuild the whole thing with Johnson & Sons Paving. They do everything in-house. They'll help you design your project, and they even mix their own asphalt. Plenty of Johnsons over there, but no subcontractors. You get Johnson & Sons Paving every step of the way. One-stop shop for projects of any size. JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
A retirement plan without execution is just words and numbers on paper, and we all know it's actions that speak louder than words. Hi, I'm Jeff Kowal, founder of Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialist. Now is the time to put your lifetime of hard work into action. For over 36 years, we've been helping our clients make their dream retirement a reality with our streamlined retirement process, and we'd like to help you too. Our execution, knowledge, and commitment is the difference between just words and numbers on paper, so don't go it alone. We are here to help you achieve a fun retirement. If you're close to or already in retirement and have $750,000 or more in investable assets, now is the time to meet with our fiduciary advisors. Give our office a call today at 262-522-4040. That's 262-522-4040. Or visit thekowalway.com to schedule your no-obligation retirement review.
Kowal Investment Group is a registered investment advisor.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment.
Hey, Mom, over here.
And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder.
Wow.
Here's to supper club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
Time for the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ notch records as NVIDIA takes the crown from Microsoft. The NASDAQ was up 5 points on the day. The Dow was up 57 points on the day. The S&P 500 was up 13 points on the day. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. Details at annexwealth.com.
How does 1.9% 66-month financing plus a $2,000 factory flex buy bonus cash sound on a new 2023 Ford F-150? Hi, I'm Susan Hiller, and that is just one of the special offers this month at Hiller Ford. If a pre-owned vehicle is in your plans, well, you're in luck. To celebrate our 70-year anniversary, we are including a 2-year maintenance plan on every one of our pre-owned vehicles. Stop in and see why so many people love to buy from Hiller Ford.
At Fleet Farm, we know every sunny day doesn't begin and end with us. But if it did, we've got you covered. Everyday fishing gear from Rapala, Berkeley, and Minn Kota. Everyday grilling goods from Weber, Kingsford, and Blackstone. Everyday camping gear from Coleman, Yeti, and Eureka. Whatever makes your day, we're right there with you. At Fleet Farm, we've got everything you need for everyday life.
This message is for the person who always gets asked to make the plans, the person others always go to for restaurant recommendations. Next time, you're the one expected to plan the next team outing or girls' night out. Let Milwaukee or Chicago Food and City Tours make those plans for you. Don't worry, you can still take the credit, but we'll handle the planning and make sure that everyone, including you, has a delicious time. You set the date, we'll handle the rest at MilwaukeeFoodTours.com or ChicagoFoodTours.com.
Hi, I'm Susan Hiller from Hiller Ford. Do you want to catch a great deal on one of our remaining 2023 vehicles? Well, we have 28 in stock, including those hard-to-find Ford Super Duties. We have a great selection, but we plan on moving them out fast. We have special pricing on every single one of them. We also want your trade-in, so we're willing to give you top dollar for it. Why don't you stop in today? Check out our deals and find out why so many people love to buy from Hiller Ford.
Traffic is sponsored by Flanders Home Entertainment, Flanders.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanders Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanders, just press play.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, rallying in Racine in the heat.
I'm Julia Fellow. 16 separate fires in 3 hours.
I'm Jessica Gatso in for Debbie Lazaga. We're seeing significant delays on 94 in both directions right now. You're looking at least a 6-minute delay heading westbound to get from downtown to the Zoo interchange, and about a 4-minute delay on eastbound between the Zoo and downtown. Also want to keep an eye on a crash that's still getting cleaned up on the shoulder on 94 East. That's at Highway 175 North. Also seeing slowdowns getting worse on 41 southbound starting at about Mill Road, heading past down to Capitol Drive. And 43 north and southbound looking slow, especially heading southbound between Silver Spring and downtown. And finally, the Mitchell interchange still looking a bit slow there by a couple minutes on 894, heading past about 60th Street. I'm Jessica Gatso with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, partly cloudy, breezy, humid, a low of 73. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, warm, still humid, scattered showers and storms possible. High of 84 at the lake, 88 inland.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center.
It's great to be back in this beautiful state with thousands and thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. What a crowd.
Former President Donald Trump addressing the crowd at a campaign rally in Racine. He started by addressing whether or not he called Milwaukee a horrible city.
They say, oh, he doesn't like Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee. I said, you got to fix the crime. We all know that. You got to make sure the election's honest. But I'm the one that picked Milwaukee.
While the former president will return to Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention in July, the New York Times is reporting that he originally planned to stay at his property in Chicago during the convention.
Biden for Wisconsin organizers speaking before Trump's Racine campaign event, critiquing the former president's economic policies, including a 2018 Foxconn project that only delivered on a fraction of its promised footprint. Racine Democratic Party chair.
Take the Foxconn project as an example of Trump's failed economic policy. It has had a profound impact on our community. People lost their homes and the promised jobs were nowhere to be found.
Part of the original Foxconn area is proposed to become part of a new $3.1 billion Microsoft artificial intelligence data center.
The heat is real, and so is getting sick because of the heat. Racine Fire Lieutenant Brian Tursinski gives Wisconsin's Midday News some tips for taking care of yourself in the heat.
Some preventative measures is to stay hydrated, avoid alcohol and caffeinated beverages. We would say avoid like the hottest times of the day and just take frequent breaks if you're doing like any strenuous activity.
Tursinski also recommends finding a shady spot to cool off and staying hydrated. If you can't drop your core body temperatures in a half hour, you run the risk of heat stroke, which can be fatal.
Milwaukee's fire department investigating a series of fires that occurred during a very short time frame early this morning. Most of them started in garbage carts or piles of trash near 49th and Lisbon and 9th and Center. It appears they have been intentionally set. Milwaukee Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky.
So between these 11 responses with 16 separate fires, we have 4 buildings involved, 2 occupied buildings, 2 vacant. This represents a tremendous risk to the public.
A Milwaukee firefighter suffered minor injuries. A mother and her 3 children were also displaced because of these fires. A $5,000 reward is now up for credible tips.
The Two Rivers Police Department is clearing up rumors regarding missing 3-year-old Elijah Vu. Police Chief Ben Meinert says speculation that Vu has been found is untrue. Search efforts continue in both the Two Rivers area as well as near the Wisconsin Dells and Portage. Vu's been missing since February 20th. His mother, Katrina Bauer, and her boyfriend, Jesse Vang, face felony child neglect charges, but have still not been charged with Vu's disappearance.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers lost the first game against the Angels 5-3. They play again tonight with coverage on WTMJ starting at 8 o'clock. Our Green Bay Packers announced the annual shareholders meeting this year will follow the team's opening training camp practice that will be July 22nd at 10:30 a.m. Shareholders will meet starting at 3 p.m. that day in the stadium. Coming up, the former president finished speaking in Racine. Up next, we talk to Libby Dean, a News Nation correspondent who is there on the ground. The 3 biggest takeaways next.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 4:35.
Since 1946, Ansay & Associates has provided insurance to help secure businesses and families throughout Wisconsin. With custom coverage and superior customer service, Ansay & Associates can provide all of your insurance needs. Visit ansay.com today and get a free consultation with one of our strategists. Or come see us in person at any of our local offices. Ansay & Associates, securing and protecting your American dream.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Just because you're going to meet with a surgeon doesn't mean surgery is your only option. Dr. Mike Nolte.
Patients get diagnosed with a spine issue. Their doctor tells them you have degenerative disc disease, you have a disc herniation. Your mind immediately jumps to, gee, do I need surgery?
Yeah.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery.
Find out the options you have by visiting orthowisconsin.com.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
President Trump has finished speaking in Racine, wrapping up a couple of minutes, though. This is how things started.
It's great to be back in this beautiful state with thousands and thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. What a crowd.
Libby Dean is there in Racine. I hope you're not melted out there, Libby. What a scorcher, huh?
Honestly, nothing compares to the heat that we were in Las Vegas last week.
All right, so let's talk about this a little bit. You were there on the ground. We were kind of listening in. Talk about tone. Talk about the takeaways. Talk about what you experienced there with the former president.
Well, I've been following the former president now for almost a year and sat through numerous of these rallies. And what I picked up from this one was, honestly, it was similar to that of the many that I've sat through the past. Now, the difference was that during this one, Trump directly addressed President Biden's amnesty plan that was announced this morning by the White House, vowing to rip it up and toss it out if he were elected. That was my big takeaway today. But other than that, really just hammering President Biden on the typical talking points, whether that be the economy, immigration, the border, that kind of stuff.
What do you say about the state of Wisconsin that we may have missed?
Well, you heard it off the top there, the majority of what he had to say about the state of Wisconsin. He said, obviously there were those reports that he called Milwaukee horrible, and he walks those back saying that he was talking about crime in the state or in the city being horrible, not the actual city being horrible. So he clarified that prior to today, but the second he took the stage, he actually went on to clarify it further, saying, I picked Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention. I picked that city, and yes, crime is bad, but we do like that city. We love that city, in fact, is what he said. Other than that, he said that he wants to fix the economy for the blue-collar voters here in Wisconsin. That was something that he's vowed from the start. So several vows to the people of Wisconsin that he's been making really across the country to every state.
Libby, it's interesting because it's interesting he chose Racine, because his most high-profile event during his presidency was when he came to Racine County to announce the Foxconn development, which didn't end up panning out how anybody really wanted it to. Was that addressed at all? Was economic development addressed at all?
Economic development was something that Trump brought out throughout his speech, but not specifically here in Racine that I heard. Now, these were long remarks, and it was a scorcher out there, so if I missed it, that is a possibility.
How did people seem to hold up? I mean, we saw the pictures, and there was not a lot of place to hide, and it looked really hot.
Well, it's really sunny out there right now, and it still is, and there's not a lot of spots for shade today. But as I had hits starting at about 9 this morning, and people were already lined up. People line up the night before at these rallies. I've interviewed people who do that, those front row Joes who show up way earlier than even necessary. But that is something that is typical, and they were all lined up around the corner. Actually, I walked out before his remarks when the pre-programming was taking place during Vivek Ramaswamy talking, and the line was still wrapped around the corner. So nonetheless, still his supporters obviously flowing in towards the beginning of his remarks.
Libby, in all your time that you've been following the president for the past year, has he alluded to any possible VP candidate that you see is at the top?
Well, every time I speak with Trump's senior advisors about the potential VP candidates, they always say that the list, that short list that is often mentioned, that is honestly not very short at all, just lives in the former president's head. It lives in Trump's head. It doesn't necessarily something that he speaks with his advisors about. Now, there are, of course, hints as to who he might pick, names like Senator J.D. Vance, names like Senator Marco Rubio, as well as Governor Doug Burgum. So several names thrown around, of course, and we saw a couple of weeks ago, I want to say this happened when he was doing that town hall in Arizona. Trump's senior advisors walked out Senator J.D. Vance, who was attending the town hall, basically to media test him in front of all these reporters who we typically see on the campaign trail. Those are usually Trump embeds. And we asked him numerous questions if he was being vetted for that VP spot, what that looks like. And he actually said that he hadn't even talked to the former president about the position. But obviously he's one of those really top rumored picks. Now, as for what his supporters want, I spoke with a few of them today. I heard names like Tim Scott, J.D. Vance, and J.D. Vance is the name that I just keep hearing. But I think each week there's an ebb and flow with these names. But Trump did nail down that he is going to pick and announce his VP pick during the Republican National Convention in the third week of July.
So, Libby, one of those very senior advisors we had on our show, the last segment, right before you came on, we had Michael Whatley, the chairman of the RNC, on with us live. And we were trying to ask him whether or not there's a contingency plan in case Donald Trump's unable to be at the convention. He'll be sentenced a few days before that. Do you hear, when you talk to senior advisors, any talk of there being some sort of contingency? I mean, if I'm having a party at my house, I have a contingency in case it rains. Are they talking about a contingency?
I think what they want to do is not talk about a contingency, because every time it is brought up, that is something that they do not want to address. Now, I can tell you I was in the courtroom for this entire trial and have covered it from start to finish. And I will be there for the sentencing, and that would be incredibly unprecedented for a former president to be sentenced to any jail time. Now, that is something he is facing, but when I talk with legal experts and really anyone out here on the trail, that's not something that they're expecting to see Judge Merchan pick. But obviously, it is a possibility. So they are making those plans, but kind of hush-hush on the plans, obviously, because they don't want that to be the outcome.
News Nation's Libby Dean with the Trump campaign in Racine. Great stuff. Thank you so much for spending some time with us, Libby.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Thanks, y'all, for having me. Bye.
It is 4:42 at WTMJ.
WTMJ is your station to catch all things Brewers. Listen to Bob Uecker.
Get out of here and way gone!
Jeff Leverett.
Struck him out with a changeup.
Lane Grindle.
And it's a called third strike.
And Josh Mauer.
Watch this, baby. Goodbye.
Call every game.
I'm surprised you still have fingernails on that right hand.
Have a little fun.
I got more in my bag.
On your home for the Milwaukee Brewers. 620 WTMJ.
John Mercure here for the Fox and Hounds, voted the best supper club in the area, serving fabulous meals for almost 90 years in their rustic timber building. It's a special place. I love this place. We've been there on date night. We've been there for birthdays. We've been there for the holidays. It's the Fox and Hounds. Always when you buy one dinner, your second dinner's free. Desserts are also buy one, get one free. It's the best dining value in the state. Steak, seafood, pasta, even the steak and lobster, prime rib on Wednesdays. Your second dinner is free. And you get to dine in one of those beautiful 8 elegant dining rooms. Relax with your favorite beverage on the patio in the woods. Great views. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. Wherever you live, it's worth the beautiful drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest to the Fox and Hounds, a summer must-see. Gift cards are perfect year-round gifts, as your second dinner is always free. Order online at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Brighten up your Monday and Tuesday with a free dinner. Do it tonight on this Tuesday. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
You may think this is a bit odd.
Try me.
I've always been an arm girl.
Do you mean farm girl?
No, I said arm girl.
You're right. That's odd.
Some people are attracted to a person's eyes,
hair color,
smile,
or kneecaps.
But I am a sucker for arms.
Well then, Penny Mustard has a sofa for you. Ah, yes, the Just Your Style 8000.
Oh, you know it.
The arms on the Just Your Style 8000 are as beautiful as they come.
Are arm piercings a thing? Because it totally works on this sofa.
American made with solid wood frame, individual seat springs, ultra high resiliency foam cushions,
and hundreds of fabric and leather options.
Including pet and kid-friendly fabrics. So you really like arms, huh?
Especially forearms.
Really? Most people I know only have 2. The Just Your Style sofa, starting at $23.69 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com. Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. Still loving retirement and still loving the energy-efficient windows and patio doors Hometown installed a few years ago. They keep my utility bills in line during hot summer months and add equity to my home all year long. Contact Hometown for a no-pressure in-home consultation or check out their home show-style New Berlin showroom featuring national brand names like Pella, Marvin, and Anderson. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. HometownWindows.com.
Traffic is sponsored by 2 Men and a Junk Truck. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
From removing unwanted clutter or junk to full-service residential or commercial cleanouts, get a free same-day estimate at 2menajuncktruck.com. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
Traffic and weather. Let's get a look at the roads with Jessica Getzo.
Thanks, Julia. Things are looking pretty slow. Looks like the worst delay right now is on 894 westbound between the Mitchell and the Hale. That's looking at least a 10-minute delay there. 94 is looking slow in both directions, looking at about a 7-minute delay on westbound between downtown and the zoo, a 3-minute delay on eastbound between the zoo and downtown. And of course on 43, both north and southbound are looking pretty slow, especially heading southbound. That's at least a 5-minute delay there. I'm Jessica Gatso with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight will be warm and breezy, a low of 72. Wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, very warm and humid, a high of 88. Thursday, a chance of showers and storms. Partly cloudy throughout the entire day, a high of 77. Friday, partly cloudy, warm and humid, a high of 80. Saturday, partly cloudy, hot and humid, a chance of evening storms, a high of 90 degrees.
It is hot, no doubt about that. Wisconsin, much of the country sweltering under a heat dome. Summer officially starts next week, and boy, that heat can have real tough health effects with the temperatures rising. Dr. John Raymond is president and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin. Dr. Raymond, thank you for being with us.
Thanks, John and Julia. Glad to be here.
What a timely topic. All right, let's start by asking you this. What is the difference between a heat wave and a heat dome?
Okay, great. Most people use those terms interchangeably. A heat wave simply means a stretch of days where you have high temperatures. A heat dome is actually an atmospheric effect where you basically have a pressure cooker. There's a system, a high pressure system that is sitting still on top of an area, and the heat is trapped and the sun bakes it and just makes it stay there for days on end. And heat domes really can happen anywhere, but in the U.S., they're most likely to occur where they're farther away from water, where the topography is flat, and south of the jet stream. So in the U.S., that would be the Central Plains.
And it looks like a dome when you look at it.
It does.
It just looks like a big, big dome.
So we're going to be in the 80s and 90s even on Saturday. And into next week, it's going to be really hot. So can you please tell us why an increased summer temperatures can cause so many health concerns?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, emergency room visits and hospitalizations go up when it's hot out. And if you think about it, extremely high temperatures can be challenging for people that have respiratory or cardiovascular symptoms, cancer, diabetes, frailty, or just overall exhaustion. And heat can cause sweating, dehydration, faster breathing and heart rates, low blood pressure, and overall exhaustion. So this can really be a challenge for people. And what some folks don't think about is that people taking certain medications can actually struggle due to problems with temperature control, sweating, or dehydration. Diuretics, blood pressure medicines, antidepressants, antipsychotics, antihistamines, and thyroid medicines in particular can pose challenges when there's a prolonged heat wave or a heat dome.
That's such a good point. Dr. John Raymond is with us in the studio. The World Health Organization says heat stress is the most common cause of weather-related deaths. Please explain the difference between heat stress, heat stroke, and heat exhaustion.
Yeah, thank you, John. Maybe first I'll start by explaining what the body's response is to heat. So the first thing that happens is you have skin dilation of the capillaries. That's why you get flushed. Then you start to sweat. Cooler blood is meant to come to your core and protect the inner part of your body. And so that hotter blood goes peripherally. And you hope when the sweat evaporates that you'll cool down. So then the heart rate goes up to support blood flow and to respond to dehydration after sweating. And then your blood pressure can drop, and you may even have symptoms from that if it's prolonged. So heat stress is a broad term that includes a lot of different types of heat-related problems. And there are 6 overlapping conditions that are associated with heat stress. And I'm just going to walk through what those are. They range from skin irritations, such as heat rash, to life-threatening heat stroke and rhabdomyolysis, where you have severe muscle breakdown, which can cause organ damage. So heat rash is just a skin irritation caused by excessive sweating during hot, humid weather. Heat cramps usually affect athletes or workers that are engaging in strenuous activity when it's hot out, caused by dehydration and loss of electrolytes, fairly mild and easy to treat. Heat syncope can cause fainting or dizziness caused by heat. Again, maybe from excess perspiration, your blood pressure goes down. Then you get to heat exhaustion. That refers to the early phases of heat stroke, where you have symptoms such as headache, nausea, irritability, decreased urine output, profuse sweating, and elevated body temperature. Rhabdomyolysis occurs generally in people that are not well conditioned, that are engaged in strenuous activity in the heat. This happens at boot camp or during basic training, and young athletes can cause kidney failure and even death. The most serious problem is heat stroke, and that's a true medical emergency. It's not a form of cardiovascular disease, but it's caused by an uncontrolled increase in the core temperature of the body. And, normally the body can shed heat, can modulate the core temperature, but it can be overwhelmed by prolonged heat. So this can cause disability or death within minutes if not treated promptly. Symptoms include confusion, slurred speech, loss of consciousness, seizures, very high body temperature, and a dry skin. So when people should be sweating, they actually stop perspiring.
How do you treat these various heat stress conditions?
Really great question. Let me start with the most serious condition. If somebody has a heat stroke, they're seizing, unconscious, profoundly confused, first call 911, then move the person to a shaded or cool area, and if possible, pack them in ice or use ice-soaked towels to try to lower their core body temperature as quickly as possible, because minutes count when you're dealing with heat stroke. If you don't have those available, get them into an air-conditioned area, wet some damp cloths, but you really need to get them into an ice bath as soon as possible. For less severe forms of heat stress, take a rest, drink water, move to a cooler place, use air conditioning or fans to kind of cool down, take a cool shower. Those would be the things to do.
For a lot of us, if it's on the golf course or we're exercising, we can get inside and we can get away from it. But what about people who have to work 8 or 10 hours outside and they're up on the roof putting the shingles up, or they're working construction? How can they protect themselves during extreme heat if they need to be exposed to it?
Yeah, thank you. That's a really important question, John. So construction workers, roofers, firefighters, farm laborers, all of them really need to do some things. First of all, avoid things that increase your risk of heat stroke. So don't smoke cigarettes, don't vape, don't drink alcohol. You also can prepare for where you're going to be by looking at the heat index, which you can look at a weather app or on the National Weather Service website. And otherwise, just stay hydrated, take frequent sips of water, a sport drink, take breaks in the shade or other cool places. One thing I want to say is avoid salt tablets. They don't help and actually can hurt you.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was putting myself through medical school, I worked on loading docks, and they would give you salt tablets to take if you were perspiring. Don't do that. Wear loose-fitting clothes and light-colored clothes so that you can reflect the sunlight.
A lot of people talk about the heat index, too. So what is that, doctor?
Yeah, that's a really good question. The heat index is also known as the apparent temperature, or what the temperature feels like to a human body. And the heat index is a combination of the actual ambient air temperature and the humidity. And if you think about it, you cool down by perspiring. So if there's a lot of humidity, your sweat isn't going to evaporate. So higher humidity makes you feel hotter at a given temperature. So again, you can look at the National Weather Service website to see what the heat index is for the day, and you can actually see a chart where you can calculate the danger zone.
Such important information. I mean, we're just starting summer. It officially starts next week. This is such important information as we head into July and August. Thank you. Good news of the week. You got some good news you can share with us?
I do, and this is medically related. The scientists are making really great progress in diagnosing Alzheimer's disease. There are skin tests and blood tests that are going through preclinical testing right now that should be able to tell you whether you have Alzheimer's disease or whether you're at risk of developing it and or dementia. So those should be in the pipeline here in a couple of years.
That indeed is good news. Dr. John Raymond is the president and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin. It's always great when you're with us. Thank you, Dr. Raymond.
Yes,
Thanks, Julie.
thank you.
It is 4:56 at WTMJ.
Johnson Controls International plans to sell its air distribution technologies business, which it acquired in 2014 for $1.6 billion. The amount of the sale to the Los Angeles private equity firm, TrueLink Capital, was not disclosed. The California-based Mountain Mike's Pizza comes to Wisconsin with plans to open its first locations in Greenfield and the Fox Valley area in early 2025. The Greenfield location will open at 7800 West Layton Avenue. Lambeau Field in Green Bay makes the cut on a list of potential team-based locations for the FIFA World Cup in 2026. Green Bay's Lodge Kohler was selected as a paired hotel for the event. I'm Linda Spice with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Sponsored by Grandview Homes, the name you know, the name you trust. GrandviewHomes.com.
We asked people why they sold their homes to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
Everything they say in their ads is true and then some. Very fair price, no real estate agent fees or closing costs. They even switched the utilities out of your name.
Within weeks, we had closed and couldn't be happier.
Whether you have a hard-to-sell home, want a stress-free sale, or simply need to sell your home fast, Grandview Homes is the name you know and the name you can trust. Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
With crippling inflation, the locally owned Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford has the best Tuesday dining value anywhere. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet is just $9.99. It's all your favorite authentic Mexican food for $9.99. Kids and grandkids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu. Sunday through Thursday, they can safely play in that huge game room while you finish up your all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet. The Mine Shaft is super affordable and very family-friendly. The Wednesday and Friday fish fry is now just $4.99. That's a crazy low price, $4.99. Stop today for the Tuesday all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet for $9.99. Desserts are always buy one, get one free. Come early today. From 2 till 5, cocktails, beers, and appetizers are half price. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mine Shaft. No reservations needed. Just walk on in. MineShaftRestaurant.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Gaydish Foundation and J&V Construction. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. At 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
A Brewers Group outing is the best way to celebrate any special occasion. You can count on the Brewers to host an event your crew won't forget. Brewers account reps make your day at the ballpark a breeze. Start planning your group outing now at brewers.com/groups.
I'm Brett Matschke, and you're due for service.
Rich Lawns.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management. It's time to know the difference, and Annex Wealth Management is ready to help with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary partner. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
Tonight, the Brewers are in Anaheim to take on the Los Angeles Angels.
Swinging a drive to center and deep. Get up, get out of here and gone.
Our coverage of the game begins tonight at 8:03 on your home for the Milwaukee Brewers. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 5 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Your top story, the DNA results are in.
I'm Julia Fellow, the former president, bringing his campaign to Racine.
I'm Jessica Gatso in for Debbie Lazaga. You'll definitely want to plan extra time for your commute this evening. We've got slowdowns on 43 starting at National Avenue, heading all the way up to Silver Spring. That's going to be at least a 7-minute delay in both directions. 94 is looking very slow in both directions, starting downtown and heading past about State Fair Park. Also keeping an eye on the Mitchell interchange. That's been at least, looks like an 8-minute delay to get from the Mitchell to the Hale if you're heading westbound. Also looking at 41, we were starting to see some delays between about Mill Road and Capitol along southbound on 41. I'm Jessica Gatso with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, breezy and humid, a low of 73 degrees. Tomorrow, warm, still humid. Scattered showers, a high of 88 degrees. It's currently 93. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a developing story. DNA testing has confirmed the arm found last month on a beach in Waukegan, Illinois, was that of 19-year-old Sade Robinson. Our partners at TMJ4 received confirmation from the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office. Robinson was killed and dismembered after a first date in April. Maxwell Anderson in Milwaukee is accused of killing and mutilating Robinson. He's been charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson of property other than a building. He's pled not guilty. Unauthorized immigrants who are married to American citizens. CBS's Matt Piper.
It will offer legal status and a streamlined path to U.S. residency and citizenship to roughly 500,000 unauthorized immigrants who are married to American citizens. It will allow these immigrants to apply for work permits and deportation protections if they have lived in the U.S. for at least 10 years and meet other requirements. The Department of Homeland Security says the spouses who would benefit from the program have been in the country for an average of 23 years.
The president said the actions will go into effect later this summer.
Something to watch out for in this heat that will not end, heat exhaustion. That's when your body overheats, especially when you spend time in hot temperatures with high humidity. The Racine Fire Lieutenant shares what to do if you start to feel overheated.
Just try to find a cooler location. If you have an umbrella or something, try to stay in the shade. Drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, or some sports drinks that have like electrolytes. Cooling towels or spray bottles will also help.
Signs to look out for include goosebumps when in the heat, fainting, dizziness, and muscle cramps.
Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman has applied for the chief of police position in Austin, Texas. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reporting Norman is among 32 finalists for the top job at the Austin Police Department. Norman was named Milwaukee Police Chief in November of 2021 after former Chief Alfonso Morales was demoted from the position following the 2020 protests in the city.
Coming up, Gandalf took a step too far. Find out what happened next.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:04.
Hey, Wisconsin, Greg Matzik here for Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac. Hey, go where summer leads you and drive inspired in the new Mazda car or crossover or Mazda certified pre-owned model that's right for you. As Wisconsin's #1 Mazda dealer, Holiday is the destination to gear up for your journey, get more Mazda for your money, and more for your trade, while experiencing all the stuff that makes fans out of drivers from all over the Badger State. Loyal fans like me who value Team Holiday's welcoming hospitality, simplified buying approach, and award-winning guest care. Connect with Holiday now to lock in the season's best offers, like rates as low as 0% on Mazda SUV favorites, like the invigorating and beautiful Mazda CX-5, the rugged and refined Mazda CX-50, or the 3-row, roomy and responsive Mazda CX-90. Or check out the comfortably low lease payments. Which one will inspire you? Find out with Mazda. Treat yourself to a test drive and discover the difference at Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac and online at holidaymazda.com. Holiday Mazda. It's worth the trip.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment.
Hey, Mom, over here.
And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder.
Wow.
Here's to supper club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Injuries happen, but you don't have to play in pain or stay on the sidelines. Whether it's your kids dealing with a sports injury, college athletes, or the rest of us weekend warriors, the experts at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin will quickly diagnose your problem, lay out a treatment plan that works for you, and get you back in the game. They fixed my knee. My mother-in-law is back on the dance floor with a new hip. These are the experts you can trust. Visit orthowisconsin.com.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:06.
A scare last night as Sir Ian McKellen fell off the stage in a Shakespearean production at the Noel Coward Theatre in London.
Shock as Ian McKellen sprinted onto the stage, took a step too far, and fell headfirst into the first 2 rows. Charlie Johnson was in the audience.
Immediately, blood-curdling screams. He was screaming, "Help me."
Within 30 seconds,
all we could hear as we're exiting the building is poor Sir Ian's cries for help. It was really, really sad and shocking to experience.
Good news, though, the 85-year-old is expected to make a full recovery. Tom Rivers, ABC News, London.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers continue their 7-game West Coast road trip tonight. They face the Angels. Coverage on WTMJ starts at 8 And the Packers have announced the annual shareholders meeting this year will follow the team's first opening training camp practice. Practice July 22nd at 10:30 in the morning. Shareholders meet at 3 p.m. that day in the stadium.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 5:07.
Tune in on Sundays at 10 a.m. for the AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show. Join AccuNet's Brian and David Wickert for the most up-to-date information on mortgage trends, along with timely news on the real estate market. The housing market is in flux, but the national headlines don't often fit local market conditions. Find out what's really happening on the front lines of real estate and mortgage financing in Wisconsin and make better decisions by tuning in every Sunday at 10 a.m. The AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show with Brian and David Wickert on WTMJ.
Come escape to Lake Lawn Resort. Enjoy stunning lakeside views, on-site golf, award-winning spa, and numerous dining options, including 1878 on the lake. Dive into the pools, explore water sports, or relax by the lakeside fire pits. Experience Lake Lawn Resort's newly renovated guest rooms, part of a multi-million-dollar upgrade for ultimate comfort and luxury. Whether it's a romantic getaway, family vacation, or corporate retreat, Lake Lawn Resort has it all. Book your stay at Lake Lawn Resort today and discover the perfect blend of adventure and relaxation.
There's only one store that gives you every possible choice in diamonds.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
Glad that you're with us. More on former President Trump's visit here to Wisconsin coming up in just a little bit. Another Boeing whistleblower steps forward ahead of the CEO's testimony in Washington. I'm fascinated by this story. ABC's Alex Stone has been on it. It's Boeing. It's a current employee. And Alex is with us. Alex, please bring us up to speed.
Yeah, so you remember a week ago, we heard from the FAA chief, and he talked about that they're investigating and there are a lot of problems in Boeing. And today it was the Boeing CEO, Dave Calhoun, who went in front of lawmakers and really got a grilling. They went after him about he shouldn't be getting paid, he shouldn't be getting the salary he gets, shouldn't have a job. But he admitted the culture at Boeing is far from perfect even now. And this Senate panel, right before he came up to give his testimony, released details today on two more Boeing whistleblowers. One is a current employee who wrote in a statement, didn't testify, but wrote in a statement that Boeing has been improperly tracking and storing parts that are damaged and then installing them on planes. And he says he has been told by supervisors to conceal evidence from the FAA, like damaged rudders, winglets, stabilizers, that they would go and hide a lot of them from FAA inspectors when they would come in. Senator Richard Blumenthal today saying this.
We have more than a dozen whistleblowers by this point, and we encourage more to come forward.
And another whistleblower who's anonymous, the committee said, claims that Boeing has tried to get rid of independent quality inspectors and instead wants Boeing workers to inspect their own work and the work of their colleagues instead of having inspectors come in and look at what they're doing. So today, Dave Calhoun, that CEO, saying the company wants whistleblowers to come forward, but also admitted today that the company has retaliated and people in the company have in the past retaliated against whistleblowers, but now saying that he wants them to come forward.
We've asked every one of our employees to consider themselves an aviation safety advocate. We're committed to making sure every employee feels empowered to speak up if they see a problem. We also have strict policies that prohibit retaliation against employees who come forward.
And guys, as he started his remarks today, he stood and turned to the families and addressed them. The room was full of family members who want to attend all of these, of those who died on the two 737 MAXs that crashed, and they want to be there to put pressure on him and any Boeing officials. And today he turned and spoke directly to them.
I would like to apologize.
Saying he wanted to apologize on behalf of all Boeing associates around the world for their loss. And one of the family members yelled out, "You should be in jail," to him. But he talked about the Alaska door plug incident, a lot of anger from the lawmakers. He has made it clear that before the end of the year, he'll be stepping down. But he says Boeing is making progress. It has work left to do, but that they're moving forward.
And the stock, Alex, I mean, it was at $260 a share in January. 6 months later, it's at $175, another big dip today. Is this a company that's in trouble?
Well, they're being investigated by the Department of Justice for possible criminal charges. They've got a lot of lawsuits against them. There's a lot that we still have to learn about them. And the DOJ deciding, are they going to file any charges? If they do, Is it going to be against the company? And against the company would probably be a monetary fine in the end, because what do? You can't throw a company in jail. So it would probably end up being an agreement not to mess up again. But that's what they agreed after the 2 MAX crashes went down, and to not be prosecuted in that. They paid a huge fine, said, sorry, we're going to improve things. Then that door plug flew off the Alaska Airlines MAX, and that's why the DOJ says, well, the agreement is void. Now we can prosecute you. We don't know if they're going to, but if they do, they could make the somewhat unprecedented move and go after somebody in the company, the former CEO maybe, or the designers of the plane, or those working on the planes. That would be highly unlikely. The families want somebody to go to prison, but against a corporation, probably unlikely, more than likely being big monetary fine. But does that fix the problem? The families would say no.
ABC's Alex Stone in Los Angeles. Thank you, Alex.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
5:13 at WTMJ.
The biggest names in the basketball world.
Dame Dollar Lillard.
Having fun and honest conversations.
He puts it in the shoe, right? And sets the tone for brothers and sisters and family.
Every week, Thanasis Adetokounmpo sits down with special guests on Thanalysis Show. Presented by Potawatomi Casino Hotel and curbless, ready-to-drink cocktails.
Fantastic.
Find Thanalysis Show on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And on YouTube by searching Thanalysis Show.
Everybody's talking about artificial intelligence. And sure, it can do some pretty neat stuff. I mean, if all we need is weird computer-generated pictures of fake people with extra fingers, AI is up to the task. But when Mr. Hollins hires skilled plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians and installers, we require intelligence that's far from artificial. Our customers deserve the real deal. Just like AI's popularity, Mr. Hollins Home Services is growing. And we're hiring brainy, punctual, personable, and well-mannered real-life people who have experience working in plumbing, electrical, and heating and air. When you join Mr. Holland's talented team, there's nothing fake about our beneficial benefits and powerful perks, including paid holidays, paid time off, and 3-day weekends. No virtual headset required. So if you're ready to begin the genuine journey as Mr. Holland's next HVAC tech, installer, electrician, or plumber, apply today at MrHollandsHomeservices.com/careers.
It's Heiser's Super Summer Savings Event. We have new Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Lincoln, and Cadillac vehicles. Let's make your summer plans way more fun. No matter your style, our Heiser consultants will streamline the process for you. That way, you can get back to enjoying road trips, barbecues, boating, and the rest summer has to offer. So stop in or shop online at Heiser.com. And remember, at Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
Traffic and weather sponsored by Flanders Home Entertainment, Flanders.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanders Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanders, just press play.
Traffic and weather. Hello, Jessica.
Hey there, John. We're still looking at the same delays, still pretty severe on 894. I'd say about a 7-minute delay between the Mitchell interchange and the Hale. Also keeping an eye on 94. We're looking at about a 6-minute delay from downtown past about State Fair Park. Things are also looking a bit slow heading eastbound. And 43 north and southbound, still seeing about the same delays there, at least 5 to 6 minutes in both directions. I'm Jessica Gatso with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight: clear skies, warm and breezy, a low of 73 degrees. Tomorrow, warm and humid, chance for rain, a high of 88 degrees. On Thursday, more rain is in the forecast, a high of 77 degrees. Friday, warm and humid, a high of 80 degrees. And on Saturday, hot and humid, another chance for rain. And once again, a high of 90 degrees. We're back to the 90s. Right now, it's 94. We want to open up the phone lines on this topic. Think about this question. You'll understand why in a second. If you could have dinner with anybody, alive or dead, who would you choose to have dinner with? You can sit down for dinner. We're going to, for the sake of our conversation, say you have to pick one person. Who's the one person you would want to have dinner with and pick their brain and hang out with? 855-616-1620. 855-616-1620. Call us, text us. We'd love to have a conversation. Who would you have dinner with and why? 855-616-1620. Here's why this is coming to news today. Singer Ariana Grande appeared on the Pod Crushed podcast. And in the second part of the interview on the podcast, she started to tell this story about who she would want to have dinner with. This is a story that she initially told about 10 years ago and retold today. This is Ariana Grande.
Years ago, I was in a Q&A with fans, with young fans. It was young fans at the time. It was like with a parent. Someone said, if you could have dinner with anyone living or dead, who would it be? And I was like, oh, you're so cute. Who, mom and dad? Is it okay if I give the real answer? And they were like, sure, I guess. What's the answer? And I was like, I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer's pretty fascinating. I think I would have loved to have met him.
Wow.
Like, maybe with a third party or something involved. But I have questions. I have a lot to, I don't know. I would love to. And the parents were like, we'll explain it later, sweetheart. And I was like, so I'll just sing problem and go home.
Oh, yikes. Okay, so she says Jeffrey Dahmer.
What?
That's a very weird answer.
Do you know what he likes to eat?
Yeah, you wouldn't have dinner with him. You would be dinner.
Right.
Okay, so who would you like to have dinner with? Anybody, living or dead, 855-616-1620. You get to choose. You can have dinner with anybody you want. Who's it going to be? 855-616-1620. You get to hang out. You need to have a little dinner. Who is it? Who's at the top of your list? 855-616-1620. We're going to collect that. We'll have the discussion after the break on WTMJ.
Be greeted by an owner at America's largest employee-owned jewelry store.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Baird has invested in the vitality of downtown Milwaukee for over a century. Hi, I'm Mary Ellen Stanek, president of Baird Funds. Baird is a world-class financial services firm. As one of downtown's largest employers, we believe in supporting the communities we serve. We're proud to call downtown our home, and even prouder to elevate our city's world-class amenities with a new convention center. Experience it for yourself. Go to MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. My home is my happy place. It's happier thanks to CertaPro Painters. They painted the exterior of our house. It was quick. It was easy. You can schedule your free estimate today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated right here. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's CertaPro with a C. Estimates are easy. Estimates are accurate. They clean up. CertaPro Painters are the real deal. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we get you the farm supplies you need because we get you, which is why we have unbeatable prices on quality livestock supplies from AgriMaster, a premium brand that's masterfully crafted, animal approved. Like new 4-pound bags of AgriMaster horse treats, $4.99, 10% off Steelworks welding stock. Save $25 on Milwaukee job site backpacks, $99.99, and all Mobil 1 oil filters, 20% off. We get you the farm supplies you need because we get you at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
I joke around and with my wife and call it my bionic knee.
But before Ernest became a patient with QC Kinetics, it was a different story.
I'd go to bed with my knee throbbing, heat, ice. I would get up in the middle of the night to get a drink or something, and I would just be hobbling.
He wasn't able to play on his rec basketball team or work in the yard. But QC Kinetics regenerative treatments turned around the situation without surgery or downtime, using Ernest's own healing properties to help restore his aching knee, now known as Ernest's bionic knee.
I am really happy because I am playing the game that I love so much, and I'm playing with my granddaughter, and I'm gardening, and I'm on my knees, and I'm jumping up. I have a 200-pound dog, and I'm playing with my dog.
Now Ernest is living his best life thanks to QC Kinetics, and so can you. Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
So Ariana Grande, in a podcast, said if she could have dinner with any one person, it would be Jeffrey Dahmer. Said she's always been intrigued by serial killers since when she was little. She used the word infatuated.
What?
I've always been infatuated with serial killers. So she says Jeffrey Dahmer. I personally think that's a disgusting choice. Who would you like to have dinner with? If you could have dinner with anybody, 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. Let's take one call here. We're going to take more calls, so give us a call. Who would you like to have dinner with? 855-616-1620. Let's start with Steve, who's in Whitewater. Steve, good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
Excellent. Who's your dinner date?
Jimmy Buffett.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting choice. Tell me why.
Well, I'm a Jimmy Buffett fan, and I play guitar in a Jimmy Buffett tribute band here in Wisconsin. And, I go to Gulf Shores every year on vacation, and that's where he's from, down in that area, and it just brings back a lot of memories of my younger days.
Good one. Hey, thank you very much for the choice. That's a very, very interesting choice. Couple of texts here. My grandpa, a World War II vet that died in 1998 when I was 9. As a family, we lost his history when we lost him, and I have so many questions. One dinner to honor him, that's all that I want. That's from the 920. One more dinner with my dad. Or Kate Beckinsale. That's kind of a cute text. That's from the 414. All right, who's on your list?
I like this person saying Princess Di. That's a good one. Mine is also Abraham Lincoln. Someone said that in the 262. And that would be my number one. Probably. And someone else said Jesus, and I felt the same way. I need a translator for sure.
For sure. I like Thomas Jefferson. I think he was brilliant. I mean, he wrote the Declaration of Independence, one of the founding fathers, inventor extraordinaire, Thomas Jefferson. Or on a pop culture side, I would love to hang out with Frank Sinatra. The stories, the music, maybe you could sing a little something after dinner. His life story is fascinating. It's almost hard to believe. So I would go Thomas Jefferson or Frank Sinatra, I think would be on the list.
I can't believe that Ariana Grande thought about a murderer.
And thought about it and said it in front of a group of kids.
Oh,
that's really weird. A couple more texts here. My mom, who raised 3 kids alone as a widow. I would love to be able to tell her one more time how much I love her. From the 262, Elvis.
Oh, that's a good one.
Queen Elizabeth. Fascinating historical figure, and the way that she was able to be a ruler in the time and place that she did as a woman is amazing. I'd also like to think to some degree, in spite of always being surrounded by people, she was probably lonely. From the 262, a vote for Michelle Obama. Let's take another phone call here, then we can read a couple more texts.
Okay.
Let's go to Liam in St. Francis. Liam, good afternoon. You're on WTMJ.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Liam, who would you have dinner with?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Who is Tom Holland?
Spider-Man.
The actor for Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
Spider-Man Far From Home.
How old are you, Liam?
10.
You're 10 years old and you listen to our show?
Does your mom know you're calling?
What?
You listen to the show and you're 10 years old?
Yeah.
That's amazing, Liam.
Does your mom know you're calling us?
Yes.
Okay.
Liam, thanks for listening to the show. Good choice. That's a good choice. Thank you so much. How fun is that? Bunch of choices for Elvis. My first choice would be Jerry Garcia. That's interesting. Princess Di or Mother Teresa. Another vote for Princess Di. From the 414, I would have dinner with my late wife, who passed away 2 years ago.
Oh.
From the 414, I want to have dinner with Harry Truman and talk about how he weighed the decision to drop the atomic bomb. That would be a fascinating discussion. Another vote for Abraham Lincoln. My dad, who passed away 24 years ago. C.S. Lewis. David and Racine says he'd like to have dinner with C.S. Lewis. Lots of interesting stuff to think about. And out of all those people, Ariana Grande chooses Jeffrey Dahmer.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm out on that. I mean, I am seriously out on that. It is 5:27 at WTMJ. Let's do some WTMJ Annex Wealth Management news about your money. The market update on this Tuesday. Everything in the green. we're kind of rolling. Even when the numbers aren't big, it's kind of piling up. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ notch records once again. Tech's continuing to lead an AI-driven rally that investors just simply can't afford to miss out on right now. The NASDAQ continues to roll. Up 5 points today. It's at 17,862. The Dow was up 57 points. It's at 38,834. The S&P 500 up 14 points. It's at 54,87. All green numbers. Inflation not going away anytime soon. Download your copy of Safeguarding Against Inflation Strategies for Wealth Preservation at annexwealth.com/inflation. It's Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, a weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market and how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. Sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. Back with us again today, Jeff Salazinski, Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, we've talked about cybercrime before. In fact, you were the first person I thought of when we learned of this major healthcare system with many of our own doctors, clinics, and hospitals attacked.
Thank you, Vince. It's great to be here again. Yes, that massive attack is wreaking havoc both on the employees and the patients. Their systems have been down for several weeks. It sounds like chaos. The FBI director has called cybercrime and cyber attacks the defining threat of our generation. Data breach, ransomware, network vulnerabilities, funds transfer fraud, everything and anything that's connected is a target. It boils down to working with an experienced cybercrime specialist. Protect yourself or your business. If your agent doesn't understand the tactics of a cyber threat actor, he or she is going to be of little value after an event.
So let's get into it a little bit. What are some of the expenses that would be covered by a typical cyber insurance policy?
Cyber insurance policies, Vince, vary greatly policy to policy. It's essential you choose coverage that aligns with your business's specific need and risk profile. But here's just a few examples. It can provide financial protection to help restore systems, recover lost data, even hardware replacement.
And why should a business then work with R&R Insurance?
Vince, at R&R Insurance, our dedicated cybercrime insurance team has been in place for almost 10 years. We have some of the best cybercrime experts in the marketplace. We understand the risks and can custom design a cybercrime program that'll protect you and your business. And in the event a loss does occur, we'll be there to support you every step along the way.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Hurt at work? Call Tayback for the payback. An injury at work may leave you eligible for compensation benefits, including lost wages, coverage of medical bills, or a cash settlement. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, confirmation through DNA results.
I'm Julia Fellow, rallying in Racine in the heat.
I'm Jessica Gatso in for Debbie Lazaga today. You'll still want to plan for extra time on your commute this evening, looking at least a 10-minute delay in a couple of spots here. One is on 94 westbound between downtown, heading past State Fair Park. That's a 10-minute delay, and 894 between the Mitchell and the Hale interchange. That's almost a 10-minute delay. 43 both north and southbound, also looking slow from downtown all the way up to Silver Spring. And also keeping an eye on 41 southbound. Those delays are between the Zoo interchange and Highway Q. I'm Jessica Gatso with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight will be breezy and humid, a low of 73. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, warm, and still humid. Scattered showers and storms are possible, 84 at the lake, 88 inland.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a developing story. DNA testing has confirmed the arm found last month on a beach in Waukegan, Illinois, was that of 19-year-old Sade Robinson. Our partners at TMJ4 receiving confirmation from the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office. Robinson was killed and dismembered after a first date in April. Maxwell Anderson in Milwaukee is accused of killing and mutilating Robinson. He's been charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson of property other than a building. He has pled not guilty.
It's great to be back in this beautiful state with thousands and thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. What a crowd.
Former President Donald Trump addressing the crowd at a campaign rally in Racine. He started by addressing the rumors that he called Milwaukee a horrible city.
They say, oh, he doesn't like Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee. I said, you got to fix the crime. We all know that. You got to make sure the election's honest. But I'm the one that picked Milwaukee.
While the former president will return to Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention in July, the New York Times reported that he originally planned to stay at his property in Chicago during the convention.
Biden for Wisconsin organizers speaking before Trump's Racine campaign event critiqued the former president's economic policies, including the 2018 Foxconn project in Racine County that only delivered on a fraction of its proposed footprint. Racine Democratic Party Chair Kelly Gallagher.
Take the Foxconn project as an example of Trump's failed economic policy. It has had a profound impact on our community. People lost their homes and the promised jobs were nowhere to be found.
Part of the original Foxconn area is proposed to become part of a new $3.1 billion Microsoft artificial intelligence data center.
The Milwaukee Fire Department investigating a series of fires that occurred during a very short time frame this morning. They happened near garbage carts and piles of trash in alleys near 49th and Lisbon and 9th and Center. It appears it was intentionally set at 16 different locations. Milwaukee Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky.
We did have one firefighter suffer a laceration at the fire at 2902 North 9th. That did not require hospitalization, and we would classify that as a relatively minor injury.
A mother and her 3 children lost their home in one of these fires. There's a $5,000 reward for credible tips.
Wauwatosa residents will see 2 referenda questions on their November ballots. The Wauwatosa Board of Education unanimously approved the placement at a special board meeting yesterday. One question will ask voters for just over $64 million over 4 years to fund district operations, including salaries and benefits for staff and instructional and co-curricular programming for students. The second question asks for $60 million over 20 years to allow the district to address all deferred maintenance at its elementary schools. The funds would also bring the elementary and high schools up to code to meet Americans with Disabilities Act facilities standards.
A new 50-unit complex will soon break ground in Franklin thanks to a grant that will fund a housing development for people with autism and other developmental disabilities. County Executive David Crawley.
We want to welcome anyone and everyone as long as they're contributing to the success of this community. And that's what we have to wrap ourselves around. That's what affordable housing is.
The grant project was spearheaded by Communities of Crocus, a nonprofit that helps families find inclusive and supportive living environments.
A Milwaukee co-op grocery store in danger of shutting their doors earlier this year is getting a boost from the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. The River West Co-op has secured a $150,000 impact investment loan, which will be used to upgrade equipment in the grocery area and cafe. The co-op has navigated an uncertain history in the wake of the pandemic and had put out a GoFundMe asking for donations to keep the business open late last year.
Bye-bye birdies. The first We Energy's peregrine falcon chicks born this year have left the nest. Birdie Blair took flight from the Oak Creek Power Plant. Her brothers Fitz and Glider took their first flight soon after. All of the falcon chicks born this spring were given names in honor of Wisconsin Olympic medalists.
That story makes me so happy. I love those birds.
Yes.
Good for them. Time for a WTMJ Sports Update. For the Beaver Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk, the Brewers lost the first game against the Angels 5-3 last night. They play again tonight. Coverage on WTMJ starts at 8 o'clock. First pitch about 40 minutes after that. And the Green Bay Packers announcing the annual shareholders meeting this year will follow the team's first open training camp practice. The practice is July 22nd at 10:30 in the morning. Shareholders will meet starting at 3 p.m. that day in the stadium.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:36.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
Many people with unique homes reach out to Pella because our team of experts can customize windows and doors that match architecture from any era.
I love that I have a home that just can't be made anymore. It's 100 years old, it's a historic district, and we didn't want to ruin the look by having modern windows in an older home. I had a vision for what I wanted our home to look like. When I found out that Pella had an architecturally accurate product line, they simply guided us and helped us to make a great decision for our home.
Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Our premium windows and doors offer nearly endless possibilities and design flexibility with dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more. Pella's products stand the test of time, and we have the best wood warranty in the industry to prove it. So whether you had your home built or you choose to live in a historic residence, order today and get 0% interest for up to 48 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply at 6/30/2024.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Chief Meteorologist Brian Desnansky is with us. Hello, Niz.
Yo, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
Good. We're doing good. Hey, I want to play a little soundbite for you, and then I want to ask you a question to follow up out of that. This question that we've been asking everybody is, if you could invite anybody to dinner, living or dead, who would you invite to dinner? So you can think about what your answer is as you listen to what pop star Ariana Grande had to say about it. Okay, ready?
Years ago, I was in a Q&A with fans, with young fans. It was young fans at the time. It was like with a parent. Someone said, if you could have dinner with anyone living or dead, who would it be? And I was like, oh, you're so cute. Who, mom and dad? Is it okay if I give the real answer? And they were like, sure, I guess. What's the answer? And I was like, I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer's pretty fascinating. I think I would have loved to have met him.
Wow.
What?
Like, you know, maybe with a third party or something involved. But I have questions. I want to.
So Ariana Grande says Jeffrey Dahmer. That's kind of a weird choice, right?
A very weird choice. Almost like, I mean, come on. Like, I mean, I know she's kind of out there and stuff, but.
That's ridiculous.
Give me a break.
Okay, so we asked our listeners, and they went 1,000 different directions, which are much nicer directions, every single one of them, than Jeffrey Dahmer.
No one said a serial killer.
No one. I mean, Charles Manson was taken. I don't understand. Jeffrey Dahmer, that's
it's just such a strange, attention-needing answer.
Two children.
So Julia said Abraham Lincoln. I love that choice.
Yeah,
I said Thomas Jefferson or Frank Sinatra. A lot of our listeners said loved ones. There were a lot of really heartwarming texts that came in about my wife who passed away or my grandpa who I never got to know. Okay, so if you could have dinner, Niz, with anybody, you and Julie can invite somebody over for dinner. Who are you inviting?
Alive, and I know this is a kind of a cop-out because he was just in town and it's on top of mine. Snoop Dogg would be so fun.
That would be really fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it'd be amazing.
He's going to bring something else with
you
him.
might not want to drive.
Yeah, we'd have a little bit of, we'd have some treats before and after dinner.
Yeah, don't drive after that dinner, that's for sure.
I think Elvis would be cool. How about Elvis?
Ooh, that's
at your dinner
fun.
table. He'd probably bring some treats before and after dinner, too.
Yeah.
That would be fascinating.
I mean, I look back, like, because you mentioned Sinatra, and the first thing that came to mind was Elvis, too. Like, when I think, like, Vegas, like, those guys, just, like, the energy and, like, the showmanship, like, all that went into it. So I'd have to get really historical, because there's some historical figures, too, that good and bad people, that you'd want to, like, sit and,
so, like, you're right. So,
with.
to her question, I think her answer was terrible. But it does make me think about, wouldn't it be fascinating to have dinner with Adolf Hitler? As much as you can't stand him and you despise everything he's about, but like to get a peek inside that terrible
that brain
of his?
Yeah, terrible brain. And then, like, you could completely warp our thought here. Like, okay, so then who are you to Hitler? You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to be obviously someone who he would want to kill and have dinner with. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's deep. That's really deep. I'd have to think about it. I have a couple others that come to mind, but then we're starting to head down a political path that I don't want to go on right now. And it's
Who would
just
think
like,
Ariana Grande would bring this conversation up?
You know who no one in America would list as her answer? No one? Ariana Grande.
Full circle. Thank you, John. Absolutely.
She'd be the only one at the table. That would be. Man, Niz, let's talk weather for a second. Got another steamer out there today.
It got hot here this afternoon. You know, the lake was kind of helping us out for a while. We had like a south-southeast wind, and then it just skyrocketed to 93 at the airport. Here at the station, again, we were sitting at like 78 just an hour ago, and now it's 87. So the lake is kind of backing off a little bit. However, I do think as we head into tomorrow, it's still going to be warm and humid, but I do think the lake starts to win the battle a little bit more. I think our highs are going to be more in the 80s tomorrow, and then maybe even some 70s lakeside by the afternoon. So for Juneteenth celebration, still going to be warm, still going to be humid. There's also a chance of some thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. I think during the parade tomorrow, we should be good to go.
So it was hot down there in Racine, and there were a lot of people that were standing outside for a long time. Was it hotter than here by a couple degrees? Was it basically the same? How did Racine do today?
So, again, during Festival Hall down there in downtown Racine, almost sticks out into the lake like a marina. It's like right there. So I don't know exactly the readings that were happening there, but I would imagine that the proximity to the lake helped things out dramatically.
Thank goodness.
Today. So, I mean, it's still going to be warm, still going to be humid, baking in the sun, but I would be shocked if they were in the 90s right along the lake shore there in Racine. Typically a cooler spot that sticks out in the lake. So, yeah, maybe they were spared that way.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure we would have heard about it. I was listening to most of the Trump speech, and I'm sure he would have mentioned the heat. I mean, remember what was it, like an indoor place where he was, nice job with the air conditioning, you know?
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
I think it's 150 degrees in here. Yeah.
Whoever did that, great work.
Yeah,
all right.
exactly.
How about tonight in the next 5 days?
Sure. Tonight we're looking at a muggy night. If you got AC, you're going to want it for tonight. Low temperatures are going to be in the 70s. I think it's a chance it's one of those nights that it's like midnight and we're still in the 80s. So very warm night tonight. Now tomorrow, again, still warm and humid. Not as hot, though. High temperature around 84 in Milwaukee. Scattered showers and storms in the afternoon. Now heading into Thursday, we continue a cooling trend. High temperature of only 74 lakeside on Thursday, and just a tiny chance of a shower early. Friday, partly cloudy, back up to 87. And then Saturday, hot and humid, back up to 91 with a pretty good chance of storms Saturday evening. So up and down, but still a very summer-like forecast. Summer's here, guys.
All right. Sounds good. All right, Niz, thank you.
Thanks, Niz.
All right, see you guys later.
Elvis, that was a pretty good choice he had. That would be fascinating. Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
Or John Lennon, the whole pop culture thing. What about Marilyn Monroe?
Oh, my gosh. I would have a lot of questions for her.
Marilyn Monroe and JFK together for dinner. How good would that be? Isaac, who would you choose?
Yeah.
I was kind of laughing at all of the people choosing Elvis because my first choice is a Swedish Elvis impersonator named Eilert Pilarm, who does absolutely nothing to look or sound like Elvis and cannot sing the songs for his life. And he's so fascinating to me.
Isaac, you can have one person in the whole history of the world. You're choosing a no-name Elvis impersonator?
If you knew, you would understand.
It's better than the Ariana Grande choice.
Yeah. That's true. True that. That's very true. 544 WTMJ.
Back for the first time in 2 years for his Sun Goes Down 2024 tour, it's Kenny Chesney.
Everything gets hotter when the sun goes down, yeah.
Returning to AmFam Field Saturday, June 22nd.
Summertime is finally here. That old ballpark man is back in gear.
Listen all day to WTMJ for your chance to win tickets. It's Kenny Chesney at AmFam Field Saturday, June 22nd.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Your basement.
Ooh, wall cracks. Oh no, seepage. And stains on the bottom of those walls.
Terrifying. The only thing scarier than basement issues are businesses that prey on your fear over those terrifying foundational cracks. The team at Gadish Foundation never uses high-pressure sales tactics. Over 90% of Gadish Foundation's jobs are through referrals. So, for an honest opinion on the condition of your basement, call Gadish Foundation today. Spelled G-A-I-Dish. Gadish.com.
For your next exterior remodeling project, we know you're not asking a lot from us. You want the right products for your situation, you want a few different financing options that can make your project affordable, and you want us to do a good job with minimal disruption to your life. And this one's important. You want a warranty that matters. And we know that checking every box makes all the difference. You might be surprised at how many moving parts go into it, but we have just the right people in all the right places to pull that off every day and make it look easy. The company we have took us 21 years to build. It's an awesome place to work because we never stop improving it. And we think we can do this work so well that we can actually change the reputation of exterior remodelers long term. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Ask about our finance options.
All you have is one chance after an accident.
one decision on who to call. One shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Let's get you home with Jessica Getzo. Hey, Jessica.
Hey, Julia. It's still looking like a slow commute in some spots. 894 has been the worst of it. Looks like Mitchell to the Hale interchange heading westbound. That's still almost a 10-minute delay. Things are improving slightly on 94 westbound, more like a 5 to 6 minute delay heading from downtown past the stadium interchange. And then still seeing the slowdowns on 41 and 43 southbound. Also, watch out for some debris blocking a lane on 43 south. That's going to be at the ramp from Silver Spring Drive. Again, the center lane is blocked due to debris. BRI's On the Roads report incidents to the WTMJ Hall Mazda Milwaukee.com traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. Find out with Hall Mazda all summer. I'm Jessica Gatso with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Donald Trump is still speaking in Wisconsin at that Racine rally. His speech continues. He's been speaking for about 45 minutes down there in the hot sun, and they are all outside. Michael Whatley's inside. He's the Republican National Committee chairman, and he's with us this afternoon. Mr. Whatley, thank you so much for being with us.
It's great to be on with you.
I want to ask you, a few days before the convention here in Milwaukee, Donald Trump will be sentenced. Is there a contingency plan in case he's behind bars, in case he's not able to physically get to the convention?
We fully expect that he is going to be there and be able to accept that nomination, and we are really very excited about being in Milwaukee and being able to have our 50,000 delegates, alternates, and guests in the House, and making sure that we're rolling the American people a vision that is going to help propel us to victory.
But no one knows what the judge in this case will do. Donald Trump himself said he felt like he woke up some mornings and had no idea what the judge was going to do. Is there a contingency in case the judge decides, hey, you're not going anywhere?
Look, if we have to cross that bridge, we will certainly cross it. But I got to say, we fully expect that the president is going to be on hand and able to accept the nomination.
Okay. We also heard from ABC7 Chicago. They're reporting that the president is making plans to stay in Chicago and will commute to Milwaukee during the RNC. Can you share any more details on that?
No, I think that we are in the process of putting together all of the different plans and movements and things. We're looking at a immense logistical challenge, as you can imagine. Anytime that you're moving that many people in, it's basically like having the Milwaukee Brewers host a 4-game World Series with 4 consecutive nights.
So, Mr. Whatley, is it possible that he could stay at Trump Tower or he could stay somewhere in Chicago and not stay in Milwaukee?
Look, I'm not going to go into his travel plans. I think that right now what I would say is that we are working through all of the logistics to make sure that we're going to have a fantastic event on stage and on the airs.
I want to ask you about protesters. I think the mayor here in Milwaukee said something very interesting when he joined us live in the studio yesterday. We asked him about protesters and how that will play out. He said, look, the protesters want to be on the stage in Fiserv Forum. Those close to the Republican Party want them on the moon. We will figure something out. My question is, are you part of the discussions about where protesters should be allowed and what the parameters should be to keep everybody safe?
Look, I think the security of everybody involved in the convention is going to be an absolutely paramount discussion, and that involves 40 different law enforcement agencies that we have that we're working with in Milwaukee, as well as the Secret Service and our own teams that are going to be there. And I think that we're basically looking at our convention in Milwaukee. We're looking at the convention for the Democrats down in Chicago, where they're, putting the protest zone about 3 miles out of the arena, and very, very worried about what's going to happen down there.
I want to ask you a follow-up about something that you just said, talking to the people down there in Chicago. Is there coordination, or maybe that's not the right word, are there discussions when it comes to security, hotel room policy, protester policy between the organizers of our convention in Milwaukee and the organizers of what will happen down the road in Chicago?
No, I think what we're doing is we're working with local law enforcement. We're working with the Secret Service. We're working with the hotels in the community, and we've got a great relationship with the mayor and the local government folks in Milwaukee to make sure that we're going to have a fantastic show. And we're very excited that all 15,000 of our hotel rooms are going to be in Wisconsin. And, you look at the massive economic impact of 200 million plus that this convention is going to bring into the regional economy, you can understand why the city of Milwaukee has been as welcoming as they have.
Mr. Whatley, have you talked to the president about the comments that he is accused of saying that Milwaukee, where we're having our convention, is a horrible city? And now we're hearing that he may not spend even a single night during the RNC in Milwaukee, that he's going to stay in Chicago. Are you looking at those optics? Do you have anything to say about what he said about our city?
Look, what I would say is we are very, very excited about coming to Milwaukee. We've had a fantastic working relationship with everybody in the city. Wisconsin is obviously going to be an absolutely important state for us to be able to win the presidency. It's one of the top 7 states around the entire country, and we are very excited to be there.
Mr. Whatley, we talked to a congressman who was in the room with the president, and he says the word horrible was used. He said, but it was talking about crime in Milwaukee. It was talking about voting integrity. Would you have rather that the former president not have used the word horrible in any context when talking about Milwaukee?
Look, what I will say is we are very, very excited about coming to Milwaukee. The city is beautiful. The city has been doing a great job to roll out the red carpet. I was up there for a press conference not too long ago where we had taken over the Fiserv Arena, started construction on the stage, and we really think it's going to be a world-class event that we are very excited about hosting up there.
So would you rather he had not used the word horrible?
Look, what I will say is this. We are excited about coming to Milwaukee. I think our entire team is very fired up about it. And, we're going to make sure that we're doing our best to roll out Milwaukee and Wisconsin to the rest of the world because it's going to be a great show.
Mr. Whatley, if the president cannot make it to the RNC in person, what would it look like? Would he just come in virtually?
We will have to see. I mean, we're not going to cross that bridge until we get there because we fully expect that he's going to be able to be there.
Well, let's cross it because we got to think about all these contingencies. What would it look like?
Look, ma'am, we're focused right now on making sure that we're going to have the best show that we possibly can. And part of the thing about building out the stage the way that we're building it out is we're going to be able to showcase, the best of the Republican Party as well as the president to the entire world.
Is there a scenario where the convention could be delayed or canceled?
No, we're locked in. We're excited about it. We're going to be there July 15th through 18th. And we fully expect that this is going to be, one of the best shows that we've ever put on, both in terms of our stage presence and in terms of what people are seeing at their homes on TV all across the country.
Michael Whatley is the Republican National Committee chairman with us as the former president speaks to a very large crowd in Racine. A busy day for you, and we know that. We appreciate you taking some time. Thank you, Mr. Whatley.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
All right. 5:56 at WTMJ.
Lambeau Field in Green Bay makes the cut on a list of potential team base locations for the FIFA World Cup in 2026. Green Bay's Lodge Kohler was selected as a paired hotel for the event. Johnson Controls International plans to sell its air distribution technologies business, which it acquired in 2014 for $1.6 billion. The amount of the sale to the Los Angeles private equity firm, TrueLink Capital, was not disclosed. The California-based Mountain Mike's Pizza comes to Wisconsin with plans to open its first locations in Greenfield and the Fox Valley area in early 2025. The Greenfield location will open at 7800 West Layton Avenue. I'm Linda Spice with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
You know this already. Inflation is sticky. You see it on the news. You feel it at the grocery store. It's the involuntary pay cut no one wants and that we can't seem to shake. Annex Wealth Management wants to help. Now is the time to download 7 strategies you can use in an environment with elevated inflation. Learn how real assets can help, which tax-efficient strategies to consider, and one way to increase Social Security benefits. It's a free download and available now. Go to